Defining Duke, an Xbox podcast, is brought to you by, well, you. If you want to learn how to support the show, go to patreon.com/laststandmedia. Salutations, everybody. It is Maddie here today. Welcome to episode 224 of Defining Duke, an Xbox podcast. Today, I'm joined by the runner. Maybe he's the void. Maybe he's glitch. I don't know. But today, I'm joined by a man who's definitely running a marathon, Lord Cognito. How are you today, good sir?
Doing good. Finally got some stuff shipped to me that I was waiting for very intently. Maddie was very patient while we waited to start the show. But yeah, man, I'm hanging in. There's a lot. I'm definitely running a marathon this week. Yeah. There's a lot to talk about there.
I didn't think of how it meant both things there, but yes.
Definitely do that right into the jaws of Oblivion. So yeah, a lot to talk about this week. Actually, I'm looking forward to talking to you for a lot of reasons with this.
Yeah, we have
episode.
A lot. This is a very Dukes coded show. We got Marathon, we got Oblivion Remake. Like, we're both taken care of. We both got stuff to get off our chest, so it'll be good talks today. But how are you otherwise? How's life? How are we feeling?
Well, life right now, I'm in what you call like the fork, right? I call it the fork. And it's like, is an expression, what's the definition of insanity? Is doing the same things and
over and over,
expecting different results. Yeah. So yeah, I kind of hit a wall with certain things, saying with career-wise. I'm like, all right, sometimes you got to humble yourself. Sometimes you got to be like, you know what? Let me do some deeper learnings here. And I had this one time earlier in my life, in my IT career. And I was just like, all right, things are not working. You're kind of like a bridesmaid all the time at the interview process or what have you. And I'm like, all right. And at the time, that's what I said, you know what? Let me up the skill set on certain things to make myself more attractive to potential, positions that are things that I'm looking for, stuff like that, goals that I have. So I'm like, all right, so now I'm kind of in that mode right now. I was like, all right, kind of in the teaching and the learning mode and get more data and then repackage myself, you know what I'm saying, in a way. So I'm in that pocket right now. So I'm doing a lot of stuff, behind the scenes and just trying to get my skill set because I don't want to necessarily give up on the dream just yet. I know it's brutal out here. I know it's tough. And me and you have had offline conversations. Yeah. But I think that's what I'm doing. And I'm treating that learning and almost think of it like I'm treating it like an internship. I'm just going to just be a sponge and get as much information, take some time, and then repackage. And then we'll see how that goes. But regardless to what, for a lot of people out here, it is absolutely brutal. I ain't sugarcoat. It is brutal. Like, like stuff I was trying to go back to from back in the day that I'm super qualified for. It dudes outside the street fighting for the scraps. Like it's real out here, bro. It's real. So yeah, that's what's going on in the short term. What about you?
You're in your experience wave now, right?
Yes.
Maybe working on a certain someone's game at some point. Who knows?
I mean, you never know.
Yeah, but I'm going all right. Yeah, it's we're approaching PAX East. I'm going to PAX East for a different reason this year, I go every year. I think I've gone every year since 2014 now.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's the first year we decided we just couldn't afford it.
Looking at the list looks a little brutal, bro. I was like, y'all moved to May to get out of the way of GDC, and it's not looking hot. But I'm going there to put our game in front of a couple of people, private meetings. So yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So we're going to see how that goes. But,
okay.
So that this April has been just very like, go. Okay. It's at the point where I'm taking naps, bro.
That's what that's my pocket.
Yeah. When I'm taking naps, like my wife was walking on the treadmill and she came upstairs and she was just like, "You're napping?" I was like, "I am so tired." It's like the type of tired where the world around you becomes incredibly loud. Like everything kind of irks you a little bit. Yeah. Like I need the peace of just resetting here, like a little midday hour reset. Because the dogs were barking. I was getting DM'd. Like, bro, it was like a psychotic episode because I'm laying on the couch trying to fall asleep and I literally hear my computer downstairs like doo-doo. My Discord's just going off. My phone, I hear
Jesus.
The dogs are barking. I'm like, I'm gonna shoot myself. I was like, holy fuck.
It never stops, bro.
Yeah.
Never stops.
I just had to go full do not disturb for like an
Yeah.
hour or two and and hey, it was a good lesson to learn because I was like, wow, I feel so much better after that. Like I just took 2 hours, bro. Like most people take days and days. So I was like, all right, I'm clearly just not managing my time as well as I could be if all I needed was just a couple hours to get away, take a breath, come back into it, that sort of thing. So
love it.
Yeah, this anytime we get ready to hit a deadline, that month's always a bit of a sprint. But everyone's working really hard, and I'm excited to, like some of the people we're talking to, I'm like, this is exciting. Like we're really gonna put this thing in front of some folks. So, but I've talked to some other people, and like PAX apparently isn't like a great pitch environment because it's not where a lot of people show up to do to field pitches. It's really Gamescom, so we're kind of eyeing that down as well as an environment.
That might be a last minute thing for the Lords also.
I really want to go because me and Laylee were kind of like, this is you get like the international travel in, like you get to take a nice vacation in Germany and then you get take like a train to Paris or something. I don't know. But then at the same time, get to do some business out there. And I always wanted to go to Gamescom. So it's looking like it might be in the cards this year. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you do go, and we don't, because obviously we have Tokyo. Yeah. And we have obviously.
Obviously, if you do Tokyo and Germany in the same year.
King is being a bit ambitious. We have to come.
Mindset.
Yeah, I love he's got shoot the stars. He's the dreamer of the crew. And to be honest, if it wasn't for him, there's so many things that we don't do that we would have never gotten out our shell because of him. And I mean, just wearing the shirts and the logos and going to events and people are like, yo, what is that? You guys an esports team? They didn't know what the ILO was.
You guys have a presence on the show floor. Like I see your jersey, if you will, everywhere at PAX. And I'm like, oh, there's another Lord right there. Like you guys
so cool.
are a force.
That's all King, bro. Appreciate it. And that part right there. So he gets into this bag, and what it's like me and Sav and Alex sometimes have to reel him in for, okay, here's what we want to do, and then, okay, here's what's practical and realistic. And then he's like, no, we're going to do, that kind of energy. So it's being tried to be add to the docket, and we got to see, because it's just so much. So I'm going to say, most likely this year will probably be LA with the Summer Game Fest or showcases or whatever, and then Xbox not doing Fan Fest, but we Jeff's thing, and then obviously TGS Tokyo that's a whole, and then we turn that into a vacation, and that's the thing I've been fighting with Solve, because I know he's got a lot personal going on, and I want to be respectful for that. But I was like, bro, it would be the first time we travel internationally together. I was like, bro, you haven't traveled with me since E3 2018. And I was like, then what's dope is we want to turn it into a week of after we do TG, we actually gonna be in Tokyo and do vacation. We always work, bro. We don't never go any event. If we go LA, Boston, it's just work each day. It's never just hanging out and doing stuff.
Dude, same.
Yeah, and then I got a couple of people from the realm. I got people out there, content creators Genki. He's like, bro, he's awesome. Shout out to my man, Jimmy. I got LSM Duke Boy, Run with the Dukes. Okay. They're like, yo, if you come through, let me know. I go out there all the time. And then shout out to my man, Teddy, Teaser Teddy from IGN. That's my dude. Oh, that's right. You met Teddy. I keep forgetting.
Bro, bred with Teddy multiple times.
Bro, tell me Teddy ain't the truth. Teddy,
no, he's awesome. I love
him. He's awesome. So Teddy is he's like our agent, like our Japanese guy. So he goes there so much. So we're gonna need that tour guide, the person that shows us how to move around. And then I gotta do the geek stuff. I gotta go everywhere where Yakuza. I gotta go to Injincho. I gotta go.
You gotta experience all of the touchstones from the things we love. Yeah,
I gotta be out there.
If I go out there, I want a day just dedicated to call it the Persona tour.
Yo, bro. Facts.
Everything.
Trade, all that. Everything Persona. Me and Addict got that lined up. So it's going to be fun, man. So those are the focus in short term. For example, I was trying to tell, okay, let's just worry about this and then we'll see.
That's where Laylee, props to you guys for maybe doing both, because Laylee and I were looking at okay, if we do Germany, we're not doing Tokyo this year, especially because Japan's doing some new tax thing for people traveling. I was just like, I get it, bro. I get it, because everyone's going there, romanticizing Japan and all that stuff, and so they're trying to kind of put up some barriers. I was like, hey, it worked. I'm gonna go to Germany instead, maybe, but we'll see. Yeah, a lot of it is based around the game, so
Fair enough.
But definitely going to do that double whammy you kind of talked about, where it's like you're there for Gamescom, and then afterwards, just let's go have some fun.
Oh, you got to do that. Yeah, wifey, that's what's up.
Absolutely. So that's what's going on with the Dukes. Hey, just real quick, because it's funny. Speaking of the game, a couple people I've actually ended up hiring on our team have been through the Realm of the Dukes, which is really cool. Like people would just like literally cold email me. Like Jono did some writing on our game at one point. He just reached out because he was listening to Duke, and then our like kind of marketing director and script editor Mickey reached out, and he was a listener, and turns out he lives like extremely close to me, which was hilarious. Awesome. We went to the same school and everything. So yeah, like Chris Raygun type moment.
Oh yeah, that's a Raygun moment.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck? So yeah, this keeps happening. It starts to feel like fate. I just want to throw it out there because I don't like to. I used to field this stuff on Twitter, but what happened was when I fielded it on Twitter, you get like the bots, the scrapers, and you don't get like real artists reaching out. But we are looking for artwork. So if you're interested in helping out with that, you're an artist, reach out to my business email. It's on my YouTube channel and in my Twitter bio. You can contact me there because I'm looking for little extra artwork for, we'll say, promotional stuff. And then if anyone knows website design, that'd be great too. Website design, art for the website, that kind of thing.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I'll put one out there too.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah,
actually we put a picture in the room with the Dukes.
LSM's audience is super talented and has like this crazy reach where I feel very comfortable doing because I'm like, it's been so helpful to me in the past. Twitter is where I used to do it, but I was like, let's just put a feeler out here.
I think that's the smartest thing, and I agree with you. First with the website stuff as well. Same as me. For us, I think we're looking for another kind of like someone who's WordPress savvy on the back end, on the admin side. If anybody that's listened to the Realm of the Dukes that has that level of experience and is willing to help, you know what I'm saying, that we definitely would feel that. Because I think that it's a good call because we got some super talented, intelligent people who love us, and sometimes we don't ask for help sometimes, or just say people that's interested in wanting to work with us and stuff like that. And I will say I'm very blessed. We have a lot of Realm of the Dukes LSM fam on LogNet. Like it's crazy. Like Arcade Digital, Subag, you know what I'm saying? Donald Taco joined. He's doing Nintendo stuff. So it's super cool. But as far as like website, we want to kind of work some stuff on the back end. And that's not my, expertise as far as I try to enable people.
Yeah, exactly. So in my case, it's paid work. If anyone's interested, we can
go hit your man with the pay first.
Yeah. Sometimes I feel like I see often a lot of like content creators are really bad with paying people for, which I don't get, by the way. I'm like, even if you think it's not worth it to you, like, do you really want to get exposed as an asshole? Like, why are you doing it? I don't get it. But just to be clear, if anyone who wants to help with website work has experience with that, we're using Squarespace. And is a good artist out there, reach out. Not a guarantee, obviously, but just looking to see if we can start with our community first before I go broader than that. So yeah, nice. Appreciate anyone in advance, but let's talk with the Dukes. Most of our writings this week, health is wealth.
Woo!
So let's start off with Captain Hero. Dear Ducatrons, I just wanted to follow up on Florida Man's write-in. I picked this one because even though it was a longer write-in, I thought it was really cool that someone listened to last week's show. The thread went live. They thought of this gentleman's write-in and then followed up for them to give them advice. Florida Man, for those who remember, was the individual who hit a bit of a plateau.
Right.
So I just thought this was really cool that like the community's kind of gotten to the point where it's not just like, here's my story, but like, hey, I heard your story, random listener, and I'm here to help you. I thought that was cool. So he says, just want to follow up on Florida Man's write-in the other week about losing weight with a suggestion for him. My wife and I recently did a weight loss course via Kaiser, the Kaiser Permanent Medical Weight Management Program. We both dropped 35 pounds each in a few months and have been very successful keeping the weight off since the initial dieting phase. I strongly recommend finding this course in your area. It involves several components. The initial phase involves just having soups, protein shakes, and bars for 3 months, all provided by Kaiser. Expect to see massive weight loss in this phase. Aim for 60 minutes of exercise a day. It could be walking initially. You will be weak on the basic protein heavy diet for the first few months, but your strength will improve as you start reintroducing real food again over time. After a few months, I supplemented the soups and shakes with tuna and started weight training again. The course also covers nutrition, how to mix various foods for the healthiest outcome, and remote check-ins with other folks on the course to help talk through what's working / overcoming struggles, etc. Probably the best thing I've done since completing the course is cutting bread out of my diet with the occasional pizza or burger as a treat. Once your body stops craving yeast, it becomes way easier to eat healthy. Having lots of sugar in your diet builds up bacteria in the gut that craves more of it, hence cravings being so bad for many folks. Pro tip for everyone listening: when you get a little peckish between meals, just drink water rather than reach for the snacks. Often you will just be thirsty, but the body does a good job indicating you actually need water, not food. Lastly, you don't need to be a Kaiser member to join the weight management program, by the way. Best of luck to Florida Man. Cheers, Captain Hero. How about that?
Ooh, I like that.
We love this. Love this little community we got here.
And I'm definitely going to use that pro tip on as far as the it's tough, man. The water for the snack, because the water will fill you up and trick the mind into like, nope, you don't need it. And with me, the sugar stuff is not good for my gut health, and I got to do better. So that's actually fantastic.
Yeah, I'm actually looking to change some of my diet up a little bit more because my blood test results came back. Everything was good. Like everything's in that normal range, but you know how like you can see like you're in the upper
of which one?
So it was LDL cholesterol.
LDL cholesterol,
It was like 97. So it was like I'm in the green. They showed the lines like you're in the green, but I'm like on the edge of where it starts to get to be like it could be a problem. And I was like, wow, okay. But I had gained weight a little bit and I had become more sedentary. I'm like, okay, this could have been way worse.
Yeah.
But so I'm trying to rework my diet as well, where, cutting cholesterol out where I can, not like a full cleanse of it, but like I said, every day for months, I've been having like milk protein shake, just down the hatchet every time. So, looking to make some shifts there, but I might look into this just a little bit, just see, again, the healthiest foods you can eat, that sort of thing. I'm pretty much in like my re-education bag because I fell out of the health grind in terms of like what I was eating. Once I moved, that was when I kind of became a little more loose with my diet because it was easier.
Yeah.
And then when I started dealing with my swaying, I really tightened up. I ate like...
How's that been? You haven't mentioned that in a minute.
Yeah, no, I'm good on that.
Nice.
Yeah, it usually just happens when I'm really stressed or super fatigued. Like yesterday when I was trying to nap, I got like that falling sensation. I'm just laying flat on the couch. Like, it's awful, but
that is awful.
I can't, I don't know if I can say who, but I talked to another content creator who deals with a similar thing, like an identical thing. It was like the first person in my entire life who I met who deals with this. And they're like, yeah, like I've been to the same doctors and all that stuff. And it's just like this phenomenon, but it's interesting that we do the same exact thing, the same type of content.
Stop. That's so, wow.
Yeah. So it was just like, wow, strange. Okay. But oddly comforting. But yeah, it hasn't been that much of a issue of late.
Cool.
Appreciate you asking.
Good.
Mass Martyrs, our next Health is Wealth write-in. What's up, Dukes? I'm coming to you today with my first ever submission to the podcast, so I apologize in advance for my ramblings. Roughly 7 years ago, I made the decision to move 13 hours away from my hometown and pursue a college degree. After years of ups and downs, highs, lows, and everything in between, I finally see the light at the end of the tunnel. In 2 weeks, I'll finally have my bachelor's degree in computer science.
Ooh.
I lead with this because I now finally have the time to spend playing the games I love and diving into new ones. The first of these games was the one that introduced me to the world of gaming, Sonic the Hedgehog 2. When I first played this game, well, now we're talking 2D Sonic. No, you can't point at me for this one. We're not 2D Sonic fans out here.
Hey, easy. Speak for yourself. Like some of the OGs. Now. Come on now.
Yeah.
Slanderous.
When I first played this game, I was about 5 years old, but I never got to beat it. The game would make you restart from the very beginning after you lost all your lives. And before I could overcome this challenge, I had to move away, leaving the system and game behind. The game remained unbeaten for me until last week when I bought Sonic Origins on my Xbox and finished what I started way back then. To bring that type of closure to myself after so much has changed was truly surreal. It's interesting. Games do have that effect on you because you don't really do that with a movie, right? Or a show. But you do, I mean, could happen with a show, but with a game, you can pick up that save file or you can pick up that experience and it's like continuing that save state all these years later. It's really cool.
Hell yeah.
In addition to that, me and my girlfriend are in the process of completing the Halo games. I've beat all of them many times, but she's playing them for the first time. We started with Reach, which she says was a mistake, to be honest, and just completed Combat Evolved. To my surprise, she loved Halo Combat Evolved even more than Reach, but Reach will always be my personal favorite. It's a truly great feeling to expose the person you love most to the series of games you love most and watching them fall in love with it the same way you did. I've been trying to do that with lately with Skyrim. I'm like, fucking play the game. I'm like, play. I was like, you like Breath of the Wild? Play. I was like, play for the love of God. But she's like, oh, I see Oblivion Remastered's coming out. I played that growing up. I'll play that instead. I'm like, all right, fine. We'll take it.
I love it.
Sorry, I keep interrupting this right.
No, this is awesome. I love it.
I've also been dumping hours and hours into Avowed. Despite the mixed reception, I'm absolutely in love with this game. To cap off my long-winded message, I'd like to say thank you to you both for the amazing content. I listen to your podcast while I'm working overnight, and it really helps me get through the shift. Please don't stop doing what you're doing anytime soon. Thanks. And until next time. So how about that? A little victory lap from Nasty Carter for the first ride. And appreciate you being a part of what we're doing here, man.
Yeah, man. Salute. Shout out to that, getting that BS in the computer science, got that bachelor's. Boy, put in the work. And
Yes,
love what he said as far as going back to what I consider unfinished business from your childhood or things. Yeah, I had that situation with Shinobi and stuff like that. And I'm like, you know what? Certain things I got to get done and certain other games, stuff like that. But yeah, that's cool. And the last thing is also what you said, which is getting your significant other to play with.
Yeah, such a good feeling.
And they fall in love with something that you like. That's one of the most full circle moments going. And the closest I've had, because everybody I've dated is not like video games, but as far as friends, I got it. One of my full circle moment was Addict. He never played Mass Effect. And I was curious, like, did it hit for me? Sometimes we over romanticize with things.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying? Like he was like, God, there's nothing like this. He was like, this is the greatest. And I was like, look at my boy falling in love. And it justified why I had it as one of my goats. So yeah.
Yeah, it's such a good feeling. I had that. There was a wave at one point in time with Knights of the Old Republic where I was just like really pushing it. I was just like full, like, I think it was like pre-remake. People were like, should I wait for the remake? Should I wait for the remake? I was like, no. I was like, fucking play it. Like it's going to make the remake better. Like play it. And just for months and months, I would just occasionally get these thank you letters of just like, hey, this game like changed me. Like this is an amazing experience. Like, thank you for showing me that. And that's like such a cool experience unto itself. There's very few games I feel that way about, where I like get truly amped when it's like even someone I don't know playing it and they're like, yo, this is amazing. I'm like, yes, because it's just that's
that feeling.
That's what art does. It connects us, right? Dominic Brandt's our next Health is Wealth. Ryan Deer, Method Matty, and Ray Cog, the chef.
Yo, Wu-Tang.
I wanted to write in with a Health is Wealth update. My wife and I recently had our first baby, and I've been trying to keep a consistent workout schedule despite some busy days and tiring nights. One thing that's been a huge help for me is working out at home, usually calisthenics. I love the phrase, a short workout is better than no workout. And sometimes when I can't run to the gym, I'll put a workout video on YouTube or simply bust out some jumping jacks, push-ups, and body weight squats. I also think home workouts are a great way to build momentum for those who are starting out on their fitness journey and may be intimidated to going to the gym. For me, it's hard to find excuses when all I need is a yoga mat and a few minutes to spare. Cheers and have a we got gains at home kind of day. I love this mindset here. This is especially the last part about building momentum. It's a good way to just get your body used to the soreness, to the activity. And those YouTube videos are underrated.
Yes.
When I first moved in here, before we got some of like the Peloton and everything set up, I was doing just YouTube video workouts, and bro, you will be sore, you will sweat. It's not something to be underestimating out there, especially again, if you were like a little lax on working out like I was, where I stayed, I would say, in the moderate activity level, nothing like intensive, just enough to maintain. Some of these will kick your ass. They're really good stuff. Really good stuff.
100%. Lower Dominic said in reference to that, especially the short workout better than no workout. But to your point, as far as being where I really had to re-educate myself was during COVID. And the lockdown, and I was just like, all right, I got to try to make it work. And he's funny. What was his name? Ryan Huniston or something like that. He's just a comedic guy that was like, yo, you ain't got no money? You home? This is what we gonna do. And you got the couches. He like whatever you got in the house and be able to make it happen. And it just, as long as you got that mat, you can make it happen with a lot of things. And body weight stuff, a lot of important stuff that really helped me through. And I definitely credit that to try to maintain and keep my focus during a time where I was really depressed that I couldn't go to the gym anymore. And remember at that time, we were like, yo, is this the new normal? Like it's over. Like, so we had to try to make the best of the situation. So shout out to Dominic on this one. Very cool.
Yeah. I always remember during that time period, like I went to go pick up Vietnamese food, and the place was literally like zombie level barricaded. Like they had like chairs stacked up because like businesses are vacating their spaces for extended period of times, and people were breaking in and stealing stuff. And so I always remember picking up that food through like a little gap in the door and just being like, I remember driving home and telling my parents, I was like, this fucking sucks. Like, this is like, I see people romanticize the pandemic already. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, I get the whole being at home for like a month or two and being paid for it. And like,
of course,
that figuring out period of like, yo, I'm totally ripping them off. Let's get, like, I get all of that, but bro, like, I do not look back on that with some level of fondness at all. I don't understand how some people love that area.
After the first, I'm sorry to cut you up.
No, you're good. You're good.
Yeah, after the first month of you get over. All right, I'm home, and then don't get me wrong. I think as gamers, we were best equipped.
Oh yeah, no, we were good to go.
We were good. Like we were like, okay, we're gonna be able to make this happen, make it work. But as it drove on and it kept on, and month 6 or whatever, you're getting into it, and you're like, yo, like you made a perfect example. It did feel like almost like some Walking Dead type energy. Like you go into normal places of business, and I'm a person who likes to eat out.
Yeah, that was the thing I missed most. Yep.
Bro, and you see your favorite restaurants, everything shut down, and some never returned. And you're like, yo. I remember when it was over, and like you go past something, you're like, oh, yo, it exists. It's still this there. Yeah. You're like, it's still open. Like I was very happy to see some, businesses that were able to survive. But yeah, it was a brutal
that moment you get, like, speaking of like eating out at restaurants, is when you got back to that, right? When things started to come back to normal and you got to sit back down again. That same Vietnam place or Vietnamese place, was where I went back to first when things started to open up. And I had it with by one of my best friends. We always went there, and it was like this moment of like release. You're like, yes, it's back. Like, this is what I wanted, right?
Oh yeah.
Like the best thing I took away from that is just appreciate even the small things like that,
Max.
Shinobi-san, it's our next write-in. Cog, very coded name here for you.
Love that.
Hello, Dukes. I have listened for a long time, and I just wanted to tell my short health is wealth story. I'm down 75 pounds and now sitting at 275. My wife and I are my wife and it says lads. I don't know what this. My wife and
lads.
Maybe
we go lads.
Yeah. I think my wife and lads will be glad to have me around longer. Yeah, that sounds right. Sorry about that. Thanks to better eating and VR games, I'm getting my workouts in while enjoying playing drums, rock, Beat Saber, etc. I'm a PlayStation gamer, but I love your show so much. Keep rocking now. Let's play some Indiana Jones on my PS5. Kindest regards, Ansley. Thank you for writing in, Ansley. Shinobi-san. Love the VR crew. Kai, have you ever gotten into the VR workout wave? I have not really tried it. Is it legit?
Hell yeah. Bro,
I'm just thinking of like shadow boxing. That's what I think of, and I'm like, is this really gonna?
Oh man, I listen. When I was at Quest, that's one thing that was highly underrated. I'm like, bro, these workout games are so impressive, and the routines that you get to continue to do, and it really, works with your body type and lets you know if you're doing things correctly. And oh my God, that's so good. Some of the best workouts. Definitely.
Really? Wow.
In VR. Oh yeah, absolutely. You can play Beat Saber as a game by itself, but there's dedicated games themselves. And if anybody's asking, I'll get a list of stuff for you guys, that are really good. There's so many now. At the time, I think there was just one, and I'm blanking on the name right now. But it is so good, man. And I'll look it up as I get later on the show. I'll try to get you guys the actual titles. But bro, I'm telling you right now, some of the best workouts you will have. Oh yeah, they are no joke. Very good.
Nice. Yeah, it's so funny. A couple months ago, I was messing around with, you can actually see the balance board right beneath my elbow here, the Wii Fit.
Oh, remember the Wii Fit? Yeah.
I was messing around with it because I hooked it back up. I had a video idea that I abandoned because I was just like, I don't think this is interesting, but I was going to try to work out with like the Wii Fit and like Wii fitness games for like 30 days straight and just see like what the measurements were like and how my body changed in that period of time. And Wii Fit was like really easy. Wii Fit was like
Supernatural. That's what it is. Sorry, I wanted to interrupt.
What was the game?
It's called Supernatural. Supernatural Unreal Fitness. I'm telling you right now, you are going to be in the best shape of your life. Download that. Now, since then, I've noticed they've updated more. They got like Fit XR. They got Les Mills Body Combat, Below Strikes, stuff like that. But I can only talk about what I play. And then you can also do health as well challenges. Like, so it's like me and you are friends. Yo, Maddie did this when he was on. It'll show me like things you did, and we could set little goals. bro, awesome. Continue. So I wanted to get the Supernatural.
No,
Great
you're
team.
good. Yeah, I was saying I was just messing around with those Wii games, and it was like the first time since I was way young that it's actually I had all my Wii Fit data from when I was like I think it was like 2009. Like I saw my dad, my brother, like their Mii's and everything. It was like I was doing like the jogging mini game, and I was like jogging by like the Mii's I created for my grandma and stuff. It was like this crazy whiplash to the past.
That's awesome.
But yeah, it wasn't like much of a workout. There were some games that were pretty decent on it. Like Ubisoft made some sort of like dance training. It wasn't just dance, but they made some sort of like dancing training game. I think it was like called My Personal Trainer or something like that. And that was pretty good. That one was pretty good. That one whooped my ass a little bit, but otherwise, yeah, just really interesting phase there for this year.
Oh yeah.
Eric's our next right in here. Hello, Cog and Maddie. This is a quick health as well positive post. My wife and I have been preparing for 9 months to welcome our baby into this world. My son will be born this week or next. Hell of a timing for the kid, by the way. You know, Oblivion Remaster week. I'm sorry, dude. I'm so sorry. Name your kid Kavach, please. I am a first-time father and a long-time gamer. I've also been working full-time and completing my master's full-time this past year, which is brutal, but I will be a mental health therapist starting June 1st. Hey, that's awesome. Listening to the Dukes between my busiest moments or during workouts has been a huge relief. Thank you. As the Dukes yourself, you've probably answered this before. What do you use for relief between those busy moments or during workouts? Or do you listen to yourself? Thanks for all you do and God bless. Eric, thank you for the very kind right in here. What are we thinking here? What do you use for relief between those busy moments, right? Like you're like Eric here, grind never stops, father, gamer, working out, masters, mental health therapist soon. It's a full plate. What do you do in those moments of quiet?
Moments of quiet. I think for me, music is definitely therapeutic for me. It could just get my mood right, even if I'm, not working out and stuff like that. I think that's one. I tried to get back into reading again. Like I kind of fell away from it. You know what I'm saying? And I started to, and I think what it is, I had to because what happened is, I know what the issue is. The issue is I'm doing a lot, so you're tired. And what happened is I hate doing things tired that require intense concentration. And when I'm reading, to me, I want to be in that thing. And what's happened is, you get the head nod and the eye, and I hate experience anything like that. So my trick has been audiobooks lately. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, audiobooks have bbeen helping me because it's like, at least I'm listening, I'm able to focus. And then that slowly got me back into getting into, okay, here comes your hardcover, here it comes. And then actually stuff like you actually helped me with, when it was like Last Ronin and stuff like that. I'm like, you know what? This is something I really got to do. I want to do, like challenge myself. Let's knock out this book. Let's get this stuff, done, stuff like that. So for me, it's probably on a smaller scale with like, what you call like comic novels and stuff like that. And then kind of like gradually build that muscle up as far as that. Because it's really not the fact that I don't like doing it. It's just that I have this rule mentally that if I'm exhausted, I don't like to indulge because I feel like I'm cheating the experience because I'm tired and I'm, you're doing that. And I'm like, nah, I can't do it like that. Sometimes I even have that with games where it's like certain games. Like there's certain games that get the adrenaline pumping, you know what I'm saying? No matter what. You like, okay, like for example, Tekken will wake me up regardless. I'm like, all right, I could be dead sleep. I play a Tekken match, the heart's racing, everything's going, right? Yep. But then there's certain games, like for example, we get into when we're playing and stuff like that, where it's not that the game's boring. It's just the level of concentration, or it's a slow, chill. Sure. Like the KCDs or the Western RPGs, and it's hard for me to play those at any level of time. I need to be fully rested.
Yeah, it's a really good answer because I think for me, like if we're talking during workouts, what I've been doing is so my Peloton's like in my garage, and we just hooked up a TV on the wall because I was just like, okay, this. Actually, it was after I was. It's so funny because she was doing me a favor, but in the moment, my wife's like, "Can you hang this up?" And I'm just like, I've been up like 15 hours. I was like, this is the last thing I want to do, but sure. And I'm so glad that she asked because we otherwise would have just kept putting it off. And when I did hang it up, I say all this because I like watching YouTube videos when I'm on the when I'm on the Peloton.
Nice.
And just kind of work in different parts of my brain. I usually go straight to gaming content, right? Like my first TV viewing was Jake Baldino and then Skill Up.
Shout out to the
hilarious.
crew.
Yeah, love them, right?
Yeah,
so they're
awesome.
like the first two I checked out. But then I was on the bike again a couple of days ago, and there's a little passion growing in me of something I want to try. I used to draw a lot when I was younger, and yeah, which I know is probably really hard to imagine now, but I did used to draw a lot, and I was okay at it. Like, I think for my age, untrained, like there was a level of, well, you might have something here. I don't know. If I tried to draw now, I mean, ugh. But that was kind of the challenge, is like, you don't get better until you start trying these sorts of things. I spoke to a developer I really admire, and one of the kind of pieces of wisdom he passed on to me was just like a bit of he was like, if you, for example, like I do a lot of writing, so he was like, you could either stare at the paper and try to make it perfect your first go around, or just kind of embrace the nature of drafts, like get everything out of your system, just put it all on paper, even if it doesn't make sense, even if it's not good, like get it all out. You're always going to change it when you come back again and again and again until you're like, it's good enough to abandon, right? Because art's never done, it's just abandoned. Like one of my favorite quotes.
Nice.
And so in that kind of spirit, one thing I've wanted to do is learn how to draw like 90s anime style. That kind of old school anime, the eyes and the nose and everything are kind of squeezed to the bottom of the half of the face, the hair is a little pointier, that sort of thing. Because it's an art style that I don't think we see a lot nowadays, but when I do see it, I feel something. Yes. Not that modern anime visuals they're beautiful too. There's tons of modern anime I love now, but just that 90s style, there's something. And I just looked at it, I was like, I don't know if I'll ever be like professional, but I was like, you don't know till you try, and I'm putting myself out of the race. And why don't I just watch like a few videos on just like people starting from scratch? And actually, out of all people, I didn't expect this, but PewDiePie had a video of him like, I started drawing, here's day one, and he did it for 30 days straight. He just kept kind of like every now and again, just draw something and doing it through reference, not tracing. Right. And he got way better real quickly. Nice. And I was watching tutorials and stuff, and it definitely the Laylee and I call it the how hard could it be gene that we have, where it's a very difficult test. You're like, how hard could it be? But I was watching people kind of like banging. I was like, I feel like I could try this and find some level of success here. And so that's kind of what I've been doing during my workouts. In a long way of answering it is just I'm trying to pursue. It's easy for me to get into my zone with things. Like I'm in my gamer zone. So I want to consume gaming content. Then I leave the Peloton and I play games. And it's like, I'm trying to embrace, since really we started Retro Rewind, was this idea of like, I want to go to the movies more. I want to read books more. I want to like try to learn about 90s art. Like, I feel like what's kind of woken me up is like, oh, I gotta live life, man. Like I gotta travel more. Like, I don't know. I'm not old by any means, but I don't feel like I've wasted time, but at the same time, I want to like try to experience and get better at these things. So, I mean, that's kind of what's, giving me relief during, these busy moments is, trying to embrace like new hobbies, new skills. I've been cooking more, like, I know that's not, you said relief between busy moments. Cooking is kind of busy work, but I've been just trying to, I guess, embrace life skills, if you will.
I can dig it.
CJ's our last health is wealth, right? And then we'll talk about video games here. Hey boys, just wanted to shout out Maddie for the Adam Fall spoiler cast with Colin. Kind of turned into Moriarty X Schroeder, and you both had good chemistry and a great discussion about the games industry. Is there a chance of an official Moriarty X Schroeder in the future? Thanks, and have I didn't realize what channel I was listening to when a video outplayed, but then I heard someone say, "Hey, yo," kind of day.
Wonder who that was.
Even the little tone there, "Hey, yo," we know who that
is. Love it. So, little Adam Fall, I didn't get a chance to catch up with this one, man. I figured I was going to kill that one, but I saw you guys link up with that.
It really wasn't even a podcast. Like, we talked about the game for like probably a combined like 30, 40 minutes. And like the other chunk of it was just like the economy of games and just like content creation and just, it really, that I didn't think about it until we started to see the comments, but it was just like more of a two minds meeting and talking about random shit like Colin does with Jaffe. I don't know if we do that because we do the Sacred Symbols Cross Dukes, and that's like unique to LSM. It's not like we're pulling in like Punching Up or anything for that conversation. We do that Xbox, PlayStation kind of conversation. I think that's where it lives.
Mm-hmm.
It is interesting though, because a lot of comments did point out, I was like, yeah, me and Colin do barely link up one-on-one for stuff.
That is true.
And so it's something, we could try to do more often.
Yeah.
It's honestly just rare. Colin and I feel like are playing and finishing games at the same time where we link up on that sort of stuff. So I'll talk to him. No doubt. I'm sure he's always looking for Sacred Symbols Plus ideas. So
of course.
That's it's also scheduling, that sort of thing.
Yeah, it's always scheduling. Same thing with the spoiler cast sometimes. And, I'll get it like, man, Cog should have been on. It's just like a lot of it is just scheduling or, I'm not ahead of these people ahead of me. And it's always,
like so that balance of like, do I rush the game? Can I rush it? Even if I do rush it, can I still be available?
Right.
The show, that sort of thing. So it's tough for all of us to balance, but definitely love chatting it up with Cobra Commander.
Absolutely.
It's one of my favorites for a good reason.
Yeah. I love talking to Cobra Commander.
All right, Cog. Enough being healthy. Welcome back, you big backs. It's time to talk some video games. I'm going to keep guilting you all every episode, by the way.
Right.
You hear that, you're like, you're going to look at it. It says right now, we're like 40 minutes of the show.
Sloths.
They're going to be like, it's only 40 minutes. 40 minutes to improve my life. All right, go back. All right. Well, we got one write-in on the gaming front, and then we'll dive into the news. Christian Brandt. Hello, Dukes. This is more so for Maddie, as I know he's a big RPG guy, but Cog, I'd love to hear from you too. There's another huge RPG slated for the end of 2025 that I hear nobody talking about, and that's Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2. It's coming out in October. Have you looked into it? Do you have any opinions on it or hopes? I've had this game pre-ordered since 2018 kind of day.
Damn.
Christian, you were loyal. I don't know why you still have your pre-order. Look, when it was first announced, I think Avalon was writing the game when it was first announced, and they had like the original director from Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 1.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, I was like, yeah, this is hype. But it's been such a fucking masterclass in just being a disastrous video game that I'm not expecting much. Like when they announced a couple of weeks ago, they're like, yeah, Vampire Masquerade Bloodlines 2 is done. It's coming out this year, but it was just like some, with all due respect, random old guy kind of just sitting in the chair telling you this, but like no real gameplay sequences or showcases or anything like that. I was like, this shit's not in a good state. Like I'd love for it to be great. I've played very little of the first one, to be honest with y'all, but I did enjoy I think if I look at my Steam hours, it might be in like the 5 to 10 hour range, like not too much. I think when I played it though, people need to understand one thing about me is like, there are RPGs that are very Maddie coded, but when they were introduced to me, I was not as hungry for the true role-playing experience as I am now, because back then I felt pretty well fed. Like all of my goats were like doing their thing. Like, we had like a little one-off with 76. That's all right. Like we're taking care of business over here. But Outer Worlds 1 comes out. Like I'm doing all right. Now I'm not doing so hot. So I do need to go back to these retro games, right? So games like Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 1, I would appreciate more nowadays. But I am interested in 2 just from the nature of like, what is this going to turn out into? Because this could be a situation like Dead Island 2. Everyone was so sure it was going to be an awful game, and I thought it was fantastic. I mean, the story was fucking awful. It was that cliffhanger ending. I will spoil it because in case people want to see it for themselves, it's almost worth playing the game just to see how fucking absurd it is. But the game sold really well and it played really well. Awesome co-op experience. So it was like one of those moments where you went, okay, like these games that are catastrophic for years and pass around to developers for years can turn out like not just good, but great.
Yeah,
so I hope Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 turns out that way. But when to me, anyone, like you started Avalon, anyone's a downgrade from there.
Yeah, I got you.
So like now it's an RPG. You had the top talent in RPG writing. You lost that. You lost the director of the original game. So this isn't his vision anymore of what it would follow up as. Like,
yeah.
I don't know, man. Just not a pretty story here. So maybe it ends up being a good game, but I could see the conversation being if it's that like good game, not good Vampire the Masquerade game as we see with so many games nowadays. But do you have any interest in this? Have you checked it out? Looked into it?
I checked a little bit of trailer. I don't have obviously the history with it, but I mean, it looked okay. But learning what you kind of explain is kind of like it's always a tough sell to the core, right? When what is something that is beloved loses that core identity, from the dev team. But I'm pulling for them. Hopefully they be able to pull it off. Because I will admit, I remember the Dead Island situation. I remember how down the community was because it was so many shifts, and then it came out and actually. And again, these situations are rare, though. I will be clear too. Like I don't see that a lot, at least in my experience. But to see them pull it and actually put out a quality product is pretty reassuring. So we'll see, man. All I saw was your man was the older guy sitting there talking, a bunch of stills, and I'm like, all right, gotta see it when it's ready to be shown.
Marathon energy, if you will.
We gonna talk.
Let's talk now. That's actually our first one here. I thought of you obviously right away. Marathon officially revealed. The game is coming out September 23rd, 2025. They had a press and creator event where they had apparently 40 people in the building to playtest the alpha. Some of those people have posted their impressions. Bungie had a full gameplay overview and a cinematic short and a breakdown of an over hour-long stream, just kind of breaking the game down. I know, Cog, you had, was it Scarrow? Was it
Scarrow 9,
yes. As a guest on The Last Word, so you'll have a lot of insight on this, but this is significant for a number of reasons, right? Bungie has been in a rough spot for a decent amount of time now, and we know Destiny 3 is not on the horizon. This is the kind of transition game, right? Like Destiny 2 support has wound down to hopefully make this the next big thing. It's an extraction shooter, as it's already been previously confirmed. What are your thoughts on what you saw, sir? We do have Jeff Casseris as sort of the setup because I'm curious about if you agree or not. He says, "What's up, Dukes? How about them marathons? All jokes aside, can we please start rejecting the let's build the game with the community bullshit? I'm tired of it. How about releasing a finished product with a vision? I'm starting to get real tired of having to wait for future updates to get the finished game, especially when it comes to AAA. Love y'all. Keep it up." What's the vibe, Cog? How are we feeling, Lord Bungie?
Oh, this is a weird one. I can't. Emotions are all over the place. I will say that. So shout out to Jeff Caceres. With the build community thing, I get where he's going. The only pushback, and I think that's fair. Have a vision, have a finished product. I get that. I think the only pushback I will give him is that when you're in a position that Bungie is in right now, where the desperation, for a success that needs to be had based on, past company failures and how, so many people have been laid off. I think that they are in a position where they need to listen to their community a lot because historically, they have kind of done things their own way, beat to their own drum, and sometimes have not taken feedback. At least I can only speak to it from the Destiny community, where we like, yo, we should have, what's going on? You guys should have done this, and they didn't take the feedback until it's too late. Anyway, let's get to the marathon. All right.
Let's hear it.
So we did the live stream. So they come out, they talk about. So let's start with the good. The good. I personally like the aesthetic. I like it's like cyberpunk meets Mirror's Edge. It's a very bespoke, distinct kind of dystopian thing, and I kind of like the way the characters look and the faces and stuff like that. As far as the art style, right? Now, as far as the gameplay, they broke it up into like 3 segments. They had like a 2-minute kind of thing. Then they had this 8-minute where it's like Ben Starr's telling you what Marathon is. And then they had like another 4 or 5 minutes of streamers, right? So I did not like the 2-minute initial thing because I felt like it moved very slow and it didn't look so graphically impressive at beginning. So I'm like, all right. And then I didn't know what was going on. So then they show this little 2-minute thing. And then, what you call it? They get devs on the couch, and the cops are here too to see how upset they were with the devs.
Arrest Bungie.
The rest Bungie right now. But I think they didn't do themselves they did themselves a disservice by doing so much talking about how great the game is without tangible, visible evidence on showing. And that's very unlike Bungie because Bungie is the masters of marketing. They're they can have the most mid content, Maddie. And they will show you a trailer and they'll show you how to implement it and this, that, and the third. And I was like, damn, where's that Bungie at? Right. And it's crazy because I'm looking at the team and I'm like, wait a minute. They got my man Andrew Witz. For those who don't know, Andrew Witz is the guy that did Rainbow Six Siege. He worked on Rainbow Six Siege. He worked on Halo Infinite multiplayer. He worked on Fortnite. This guy's chops are crazy, right? So I'm like, okay, the talent's there. Then they got my man Lars Barkin, who, for people that know, when Destiny used to care about PvP and they had some of the best metas, he was part of the Destiny live team on PvP. So I know from a core gameplay standpoint, this game's going to be good. But the problem was, it's not until I got to the 8 minutes, I'm like, okay, so we got the character classes, you got the glitch, you got the person with the speed, you got the shield guy, you got the kind of void kind of person who does the, disappearing and stuff like that. And I'm like, okay, I'm trying to get into it. And be honest, like I said, from an extraction shooter, which is stuff I don't play, I was like, okay, I see where you're going there, but it's still going to be a tough sell. So overall, I just felt like then they showed that very last thing at the end, which was like some, story Kojima-like, and I didn't know what the hell was going on. So I left as a whole that stream not really impressed. And I left it like, man, I see some of the potential here. I see some of the loot in game. I see some of the tension of extracting out of a situation and everyone kind of knowing where you're at and stuff like that. But I'm just like, I don't know in this market it's going to work. So I was very lukewarm. So then we did the last work. And shout out to Scarrow9 who was there, he has over 60 hours of marathon. Shout out to Ty Guy Travis, who also played the latest build, and he challenged the hell out of Bungie with tough questions, onboarding, and then finding out what's going on. Now, when they explained the game, and I was like, okay, what does this mean? How does it work? What do the classes do? Can you switch? Can you do that? Then I'm like, yo, this sounds fun. This sounds like almost like a little bit of PvPvE. And he was like, Hawk, the AI is crazy hard. Like when the AI is on the map, you guys have to make a concerted effort to, go after them and stuff like that. They will get you up out of there. They got bosses. They got all type of dynamic weather events. So they explain it. I'm like, all right. And then I'm learning about Blackbird and that person, like, can when he downs you, can interrogate and you can find out where other members of the team are. I'm seeing it. I'm like, all right, there's something here. But Bungie didn't do a good job of explaining this because the way you guys explained it, it sounds better. So look, final thoughts. It's still going to be a tough sell. The problem is
product, right?
Yeah, it's you didn't wow anybody out the gate, right? The second thing is you are in this niche genre. Remember, I've always said I don't know how an extraction shooter plays in this climate when you have the Fortnites and you have, all the Marvel rivals and the free to play energy, right? So that's the first thing. The second thing is you have that. If you're going to have to nail this beta. The people need to play because vibe I'm hearing, it's one of those games that's really tough to describe. You have to play it. You have to do that. And then it seems like you're kind of light on kind of 3 maps, 4 maps. Then the biggest elephant in the room, you're launching on Borderlands 4 date. And I got into an argument with Travis and Scarrow. They were like, oh, it's no big deal because it's too early. I'm like,
everyone's underestimating Borderlands 4. I'm not a huge fan like I used to be, but no.
Bro, I'm with you. I'm like, look, the casual knows what Borderlands is. And the casual plays PvE.
Oh, dude, Randy Pitchford was rubbing his hands when he saw that day. He's like, okay, we know how this story goes.
Right. So the mentality that I think that must, because the vibe I'm getting from them is like, it almost has to come out September because word on the street, Maddie, October may be GTA.
Yeah.
And we know November, big Call of Duty. So they can't run. You see what I'm saying? So part of me, and then let's be honest, if I had to guess, Sony is like, you got to get this out here, B. You've been working on this.
6
you know what
years,
I mean?
Right?
So if I, again, the exact 6 years. So if I had to guess, it's probably the lesser of the evils, where it's like, all right, well, their PvE, we got to drop during that period to try to survive kind of thing. So it's going to be how much content, and then the long term. Here's the other thing. In the Vidocs, they were talking about, Scarrow and they were talking about there's a mode that they said is so transformative and revolutionary, right? They got a rank thing and some other map or whatever. Both of those things are not at launch. So it's just like,
yeah,
you can't be like, yo, this is the greatest thing ever. We can't wait for you to get it. And it's not there yet, right? The last thing I'll say that gives me a little hope is that every session that these guys went to, right? They were like, Bungie, that ain't it. This ain't it. Apparently there's 6 classes. They only show 4. There's one, funniest thing Scarrow told me. There was one, there's like a medic class and they showed gameplay and stuff, how it's supposed to be. And the design or whatever was so bad. Internally, all the content creators were laughing and clowning this thing. The next day, after they took the feedback from the whole thing was changed. So this is a new Bungie. I want to give them credit. I've never seen Bungie completely change things to where the the community is wanting. And the last thing I think I'll say is a big controversy right now is there's no proximity chat. And a lot of people, a lot of people are like, bro, how we ain't got no proximity chat? We got to deal with that. We got to deal with how do you hook the casual who says after each season, the season's over. You remember, it's high risk reward. If I go, me and you, Maddie, we go in, you kill me, you rob, you get all my loot, boom, boom. And it's that tension. You have a good day, you have a bad day. But what happens now at the end of the season in a looter game where you take everyone's loot and it's a reset? Now, from a balance standpoint, I get it. You don't want the strong to remain stronger, and a new guy will never be able to beat those guys that have all the top loot. But it kind of reminds me of why sometimes I fall off Diablo. When every season you got to start a new character or that's a tough sell to a loot-based game. And they got augments, they got progression. Look, I'm rambling. There's a lot of thoughts here. This is going to be tough, especially on the price point and how this lands. But I think the last key for them, if they want any inkling of success, you better get this public open beta in everyone's hands, and it better play the way Scarrow and Travis, because they say, no, bro, it's a good game. Everyone's telling me it's a good game. It's addicting. It's a good game. But for us right now that don't have no hands on it, we look at it like it looked average, mid, and we don't play extraction shooters, so you gonna have to sell me. Done rambling. I'm dying to know what you got to say.
That's surprising because I'm not really the Bungie expert, but I have a lot of thoughts more in the terms of like they're already gearing up the FOMO machine. I can just tell by the way they even handled creators. I got invited to their creator program before it was revealed. Like they wanted to fly me out to check out the game. It was the same day as the Switch 2 preview. There was, I don't know if I can talk about it, but there was something else attached to the offer that I was like, I'm not fucking doing that. I was like, that's to me like that contaminates my opinion. So I'm not doing that. So I just chose not to go. And I also know that they were doing pre-alpha or alpha codes, whatever it is, but they had priority levels to the codes, which I think is the dumbest fucking thing. So basically, if you co-stream the event, you'd get in and you could get started with your content. But if you didn't, if you're like me, I'm just like, I'm not fucking doing that, bro. Like, I'm not playing your game. Then you don't get in until whenever they start sending out codes to your email.
Gotcha.
I still don't have one, which is fine. Like, I'm busy anyway, but they're already setting up the FOMO machine. Like, and you can tell by the way the game's balanced and the questions that you're asking, like, what happens when the season resets? It's like, they're encouraging the grind machine. They know what put Destiny, because Destiny, I don't want to say Destiny's a bad game. As someone who played it, though, as a newcomer, I'm like, it's a bad newcomer game. It's a genuinely bad game when it comes to onboarding and trying to get into it. I played like 15 hours of it. I was like, I can't do this. Like, I feel so fucking lost and I'm attached to my browser more than the game. This isn't good. They are in such an interesting spot because their products are like their fan base is a byproduct of, I think, many thousands of people just being way too deep. And it's like, well, why am I going to pull out now? So now they're kind of re-gearing, like, how do we get people that deep again? And for me, I'm like the target audience, which is probably why I was invited to this event, because it's like, I've said a million times, I'm like, I can't get into Destiny. Like, it's so deep. I just can't. Like, if you had the vault and it was everything, the answer would be a lot different. But that's not the case. So Marathon, I'm looking at is like, hey, I love Bungie. Even if like Bungie proper, what I grew up with is not the same Bungie nowadays. Like, I love a Bungie shooter. Like, this is a starting point for me. And I think artistically it has a lot of originality, but the gunplay looks solid. I just feel like a lot of this is not ready to go. I was watching Skill Up's interview and like the director came on 2 years ago and kind of seemed more like the land the plane Joe Staten kind of director rather than the like, this is my vision director. You talked about like the 3 maps, like that's light, bro. I don't care how big these maps are. It's a tough year to be launching a game, man. Again, I always say I'm so thankful that like we're not targeted 2025. I feel bad for developers who are and publishers who are, because it's a reason. Like, dude, RuneScape that RuneScape Dragon Wilds game. Remember we were talking about it a couple weeks ago? I was like, yeah, I'll totally be there. They shadow dropped the early access yesterday as we're recording this. So just like everyone's going, because I feel like everyone's just trying to beat out GTA 6. So like, this is our best time. This is our best time. Like every Oblivion Remastered getting shadow drop. Again, we'll talk about it a little bit. Now seeing it, I'm like, I don't get why you guys didn't market this. Like, I don't, I'm okay with it as a fan, but I just don't get why you didn't. Because so I'm just like, yeah, this is clearly a lot of avoiding the calm before the storm, right? They're launching right next to the storm. I don't want this to be I think the Concord comparisons are a little bit early. I think they're number one, this game looks much better, more original, at least in the terms of like character design stuff. But also like I could see it doing well at first, but it is launching in such steep competition, not only like 1-to-1 comp, I think a Borderlands kind of is, as my camera goes off. It doesn't want to see me this upset. I'll fix it after this segment, but you know, not only are you going 1-to-1 with Borderlands, but you're launching in like the holiday window, like a sea of just like really busy time, right? Just lots of games coming out. Like you think this front half of the year is busy. Like wait till we get to the holiday where it's a flurry of games. So yeah, I'm just I'm a little worried for them, because for them to pivot off of their cash cow in Destiny and look at this as the next big thing, I didn't really feel much watching it, if I'm honest. Like it just
see, this is important.
It just to me, it just felt like the presentation and sort of the ideas behind the game were ill prepared. And when I was talking about Scale Up's interview, like a lot of what the director said was like, yeah, we'll be talking about that after launch, or that'll be added later into the game. Like a lot of things that could be interesting, like more maps or modes or things that are going to give this game the actual meat it needs. It sounds like it's going to be like season 2 or season 3. And it's just, for me, I'm like, again, as I've said with a lot of these games before, you're not just competing in your own genre space. Like you're not just like, as they framed it in their own stream, they're like, we're going against like these other extraction shooters. It's like, no, dude, you're going against my turn-based RPGs. You're going against my phone games. You're going against anything coming out on Game Pass that year or that month. Sorry. You're going against everybody. And these, I know they're talking publicly, so maybe they curve the speak a little bit more, but it's like, I hope internally they everyone starts to wake up a little bit. It's like, you can't launch like a 3-map product in that window and just expect me to drop everything for it. It's like, no, you're not done, dude. Like you're obviously not done. You know, this thing just feels like it needs to come out. I'm keen to hear more about what like Scarrow and Travis talked a bit about, because it sounds like that these are the things that Bungie should have focused on. But the thing is I don't really feel bad for them, because they had an hour to really like lay it all out there and talk about it. And when I was watching the stream, I'm like, this is so surface level for a game that's coming out in 5 months. Like you'd think this is like a year and a half out. Like here's a quick look at it. We're going to be doing more later this year. We have a beta launching this, probably is a fucking beta launching this September. We'll have more to share the following year. Like that's the vibe I got from it. So it feels like we're a year and a half ahead of schedule.
No, that you're making fantastic points. And I think that it is fair to say, like, there is concern that they are being rushed to get this out. Yeah. As opposed to saying, hey, we need a little bit more time. Let's flesh this out. Let's have a really full, complete product. Not saying that, there's no completion at all, and there's nothing complete about it, but it does feel when you hear 3 maps and then you hear like, hey, we're going to add this. Hey, we're working on this. And we're still doing this. When it's game's about to be out in 5 months. like we are really getting close, kind of thing. And to see this level, don't get me, there's one part where I like the agency of them listening to feedback and immediately, implementing it. That's dope. Don't get me wrong. That's something that I've always wanted from Bungie, and I felt they haven't been the strongest over the years, because they kind of always have a we know best with the meta kind of energy, or not that we know best. It's more like we like to take our time with the data and make more gradual decisions, as opposed to, hey, people truly hate this. This is number one at the top of the community boards all the time. Sure. And what I'm saying, kind of energy. So I will say, if you want me to get into the Scarrow stuff. And, okay. Yeah. So here's the thing. So, all right. So the first thing, I wrote some notes down and stuff they were saying that I did like. Obviously, the cool thing I like is obviously we got destructible environments. They did show a little bit of that, which was pretty cool. I told you about the AI as far as not being safe, and different variants of the AI and how really difficult they are, where you have to make a focus where it's like, okay, if we, the way they structured the zones is they don't want to spawns everyone on top of each other, right? So what they do is you're going out there with your 3-man team. Again, teams of 3, or you could do solo. A lot of Tarkov guys like just coming in solo. I'm in there with a knife. I'm surviving. Where, almost like that PUBG Battle Royale energy where you land, okay, let's scavenge, let's go find out kind of thing. And you can do solo if you want that super hardcore experience. The thing that I like first is that, again, you all got a primary ability, a tactical ability, and then 2 traits. And then there is a customization track as far as like a skill-based tree track during the joint, in addition to the weapons. And you can get mods and stuff for those traits. Some of them allow abilities to get extra things and be way more dynamic. You get 2 dashes, or if you're I think it's glitch or whatever it is. So anyway, obviously we talk about the more classes. Now the loot and the gunplay, everyone says feels amazing. Then you got exotic loot, legendary loot with crazy properties, that kind of stuff. We talked about, as far as the AI, we talked about the mods. Now here's the thing. They said you could have full loadouts, healing packs, shields, grenades, and of course gun mods. They said the tough decision is before the match, how much of your high end loot do you bring in? You know what I'm saying? Like, because remember, every match is a risk.
Yeah.
So it's like, all right, do I take that gun, this mod, or maybe I just take a couple, because if it goes left, right? You know what I'm saying? Then I'll lose that to the other. Now, the cool thing, as I heard, is if me and you are on the same team and I'm a whack player, because remember, there's always going to be the person, there's going to be one of them games that going to cause problems between friends. Because if you got that whack friend that you got to carry and he getting murdered, and then you like, damn, I'm not losing my loot because it is. Sure. What they got is, okay, so if you're the strong guy in the team, you can, in the start of the map, you could drop loot for me, pick up. And then I can be like, okay, Maddie hooked me on one of his little extra legendary. He's so nice. I can use that. And then I heard things like, if I'm downed, or like, say, for example, like, one of the teammates down, but one survives, like that person, then at the end of the match, if the survival person of the team, the loot will go back to that person. It won't be a total loss of loot if one of the 3 members gets extracted kind of energy on certain things, the way it's explained, which I thought was super dope. But to me, the ultimate sell that I think they still didn't do a terrible job is the escape pad spot things. There are things on the map where you can find, and where it's like, okay, you got your loot, you now want to get up out of here. Now, when you get up out of there, that beacon goes to the top of the map. The whole map can see. So now it's like, yo,
it sounds a lot like the Dark Zone and Division.
Yes! Yeah. Division, Dark Zone, NNB with PvE, with more spin, more classes. That's what it really felt like to me. Because I actually like the concept of the Dark Zone, but the problem was Dark Zone. So this is my struggle with it. Because I love that tension of Dark Zone. But I remember what put me off about Dark Zone is that if you're a noob going into the Dark Zone, when you fighting these OP dudes with golden guns and you out here, it's brutal. You'll get stuck. So I understand the seasonal reset from a balance standpoint, but I do worry that the casual goes, man, like you made me play. I earned all this dope loot, and now at the end of the season, I gotta lose it. You know what I mean? So it doesn't. It's a tough one.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like the FOMO is what they're gonna lean into. Is my guess. Like I feel, it's got to be a level of like, you better get back in there, or the people who grind the most are gonna be benefiting the most when they start the next season. Like this sounds like Destiny proper, which is why I'm not really optimistic about their live service model.
I agree. Only thing I push back is that this more Diablo, because Destiny, you still keep your loot with the next season.
I meant more so the psychology of Destiny.
The psychology, right. No, I get what you're
definitely right, though.
Because this is like I'll be honest, one of the put-offs with Diablo is like, okay, you make me, I'd have made the summoner class or whatever, right? And I do a whole season, and then a new season, I'm ready to play with that character. I got all that investment.
Yeah.
And then it's like, no, you can't use him. You got to make a new character. And it's like, bro, what about all these things I got? Like, and I remember like, so would you try somebody else, bro? That's just how it is. And I'm like, all right. Now, the other thing that I think that they didn't sell, also from a technical standpoint, dedicated servers, so no cheese. That destroys the Tarkov. Because Tarkov, I heard, is a lot of issues, a lot of bad. Like I'm speaking also to the Tarkov people, because this is the target. They are coming for to me, the way I look at them, they are trying to be the Fortnite of Tarkov.
Mm-hmm.
Like remember what Fortnite did to PUBG?
Yeah.
They try to do that to Tarkov.
Yeah.
The question, sure. And the only hope they have is that we have to be honest. There is, because they're going for such a unique thing, there is nothing in the console space that competes. So the hope is, just like Bungie historically, people forget, they brought FPS to console and made it work. No disrespect to GoldenEye, but people like, Halo is the greatest controller. We never thought we could get a FPS or console to control as precise and amazing. That's what Halo truly is. That's why it was a killer app. People thought it just couldn't really be done. They don't have a mouse, they don't have a key. It's just, but PUBG proved that it can be done. So what I'm thinking their mindset is, it's still an uphill battle. They got to prove that this genre is exciting, because we got a lot of failures. We got Rainbow Six Extraction. Remember that?
Yeah.
We got a lot of failures that didn't work. So there's a part of me that goes, they're going for that. They have to get that audience. But the last thing they didn't sell, because they got cross-play, cross-progression, this is the fun part, which is, remember I told you, there's all these parts of the map, and you can escape or whatever, right? But then where the Battle Royale part kicks in, what I consider the Battle Royale part, is after the 25-minute mark, right? Everyone's still on the map. Then everything shuts down. There is one escape part that is in the center of the map. And now it's not just like you get in and it's one of those, it's like a beam kind of energy, I guess, in a way. So sometimes you can make alliances like, all right, we could, here's the thing. Not only does this thing happen in the center of the map where it's the last thing to escape, the strongest AI enemies are also there as well. So now you got a decision. All right, I could kill Maddie, try to take his loot, but we got to deal with this thing. Maybe we have a stand down and let's just get out of here together kind of energy. So they're not selling this thing. I'm like, bro.
That sounds much better than what they showed.
Thank you. With Scarrow and I'm like, Travis, you guys made this game sound amazing. I said, Bungie did this. I didn't know any of this. I was like, that sounds fun as hell. Because I could see the uneasy, like, yo, I'll stand down if you stand down. But we got these things to deal with. Or if you feel you nice, you're like, nah, man, he gonna take me out. He killed me, take everything, killing, like, you know what I mean? That's fire. So look, I'm hoping, I'm pulling, but it's gonna be tough. We got to say that obviously the price point. We don't know what the hell it is. Maybe $40.
Yeah, $40.
Yeah, so that's pretty much what I wanted to get that part off, because I felt they did a terrible job for a company historically known for voting.
It seems like the biggest thing they need to address is, what does progression look like season to season? Because if everyone starts off at a blank slate, then it cuts off my theory about FOMO, because it's like everyone's starting over fresh. I guess, then the question is, if you drop in mid-season, what's that like? So that's still another question that would have to be answered, but at least it would maybe invite more new players in consistently when they drop a new season, they do a big update, that kind of thing. But it also sounds like they just need to show the rest of the game. I don't know.
Yeah, that part. And then customization, cosmetic, post-launch support is going to be key. They do sound like they don't want to mess with the crazy skins and stuff, but you're going to need a monetization model. You're going to need, because my thing is, you still, for the people like King hate the fact. See, I don't mind the seasonal loot as much. I shouldn't say that. I do. But I think that if you don't have something else that carries over, whether it be cosmetics or
like a battle pass, you think?
They got to have something, bro, because you got to make me feel good for playing season 1 now that we on season 2. You took my loot, you took your mods, you took certain things, but it's like, you got to give me something, I guess aesthetically, something that be like, okay, you was there. You earned this fly thing.
Marvel Rivals does that, yeah. Battle
That's
pass.
what I'm saying. So maybe cosmetics gotta be something. And the vibe I'm hearing is they don't want to go too crazy with cosmetics. They kind of want to keep everyone with a distinct look from a vision standpoint. Like the glitch character looks like this, and we don't want to go outside the framework too much. So we'll see. We'll see.
That's going to be like $40.
Yeah. So that's going to be the struggle for them, but we'll see.
All right. Well, next up, Cog, Star Wars Zero Company has officially been announced by BitReactor and Respawn. By the time our free feed listeners are getting their hands on this episode, there will have been an official trailer and gameplay reveal. That's happening at Star Wars Celebration this weekend in Japan, which is really exciting. But yeah, this is the game that had the 2023 build images leak that I showed you last week when we talked about this game. That looks like XCOM meets Star Wars, and So we have the official title card for it. Just a little bit more info here. Nothing else too crazy. But how are we feeling, Cog, going into this one?
Bro, my hype train just keeps rising. Keeps rising.
Yeah.
Like this is like a love child for both of us.
100%. We are going to bond over this.
Yeah, like our worlds are combined because you're such a Star Wars guy. You want new original ideas of Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the XCOM guy that I can't get an XCOM game from the team that I want to make it. The devs then, the former Firaxis devs of XCOM go form a studio. I believe, is that the Bit Reactor? I'm saying that's the Bit Reactor part.
Yeah.
Then you got both of our love for Respawn, right?
Mm-hmm.
Involved with this.
Respawn's been money with Star Wars, that's for sure.
This could be special. And I got some people in the building at Respawn that I respect. And I'm trying to get, they're like, how we can't tell you that. I'll try to dig, man. I'm trying to dig. I was like, well, what you know about this? What's going on? They playing dumb. I'm like, all right, I get it. You do what you got to do. But listen, man, I will be there Saturday. Yeah. Tune in. And the main thing that I feel hopeful because your guys and the fact that I feel like the Star Wars story should be taken care of seriously. You know what I'm saying? I'm feeling better about it. You know what I'm saying? Kind of thing. And there's no disrespect to my XCOM, my Firaxis guys, but having the Star Wars and the Respawn aspect, I feel could really help flesh it out and make it a doper package.
Yeah,
you know
it
what I
could be
mean?
kind of like Gears Tactics, right? Like that sort of mixture of like storytelling, mission design, XCOM vibes, that kind of thing, right?
Because that's the thing that's why I give Gears Tactic the utmost respect. I think a lot of people who are not into turn-based, hardcore tactical turn-based, they want a real narrative, man. That's what it is. And bro, shout out to my guys, all my supposed to Splash Damage, right? They put so much production and AAA energy into the story of Gears Tactics. It felt like a full-on Gears game. I fell in love with these characters. I'm like, okay, cool. And with you're the Star Wars universe guy. So it's like if you flesh out a really good Star Wars story, I don't know if you want to go canon or between a specific region or period, whatever you do, just flesh out and tell a great story. That's why we love Survivor so much, right? We're kind of it's a reason. Like, so I'm trying not to get too crazy, but I am really hyped for this, man. I will be tuning in so hardcore on Saturday, man. You have no idea. So many people hitting us up too about this game.
I know. Yeah. It's announced as a single-player turn-based tactics game, PC, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, but again, single player. So very good to see there. Yeah, I cannot wait to lay eyes on this game. I have high hopes for it too. Hopefully, we don't sound foolish in the release of the gameplay and whatnot. But I don't know. Just it looks like a trifecta that just makes a lot of sense. And it's hard to imagine it going wrong, but stranger things have happened. So we'll see.
Absolutely.
If this isn't good, then we got something else to turn our attention to. Mafia: The Old Country had its release date leaked. They're going to have a panel at PAX East, and I imagine this is where it gets confirmed. But it was on the Steam blog post. We learned that Mafia: The Old Country is releasing August 8th, 2025. Lord Cognito, how are we feeling? Are you a Mafia fan? I don't know. Have you played all the Mafia games?
I'm casual Mafia. Shout out to the cops. They looking for the Mafia right now. But no, casual Mafia. But no, it's a great series. Don't get me wrong. August is starting to come together now, huh? Mm-hmm. We got to see, bro.
Every month, bro. There's not going to be a break.
There's no escape month right now.
Yeah, we don't have a backlog month. It might have been. If you're not in the Japanese games, it might have been March, maybe.
Maybe July? You think July will get a little break of nothing coming out?
July's Donkey Kong Bonanza, man. I don't know. And that game looks awesome from what I played. So
everyone's raging about it. Yeah, no. You played it. Arcade played it. King was hating on the Switch until he saw that game. He's like, oh my God, I'm in. I was like, this is what did it. He's like, I am in. And then I'm hearing full destructibility and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's like very Red Faction Guerrilla coded. Like I don't know who came up with the comparison, but it's such a good way of describing it because Red Faction, like that game is built upon like most of its environment just having a lot of give to it and being fun to play because of that. And Donkey Kong Bonanza is literally that. It's just so good. So yeah, I mean that at least like for example, when it comes to Switch 2 and its lineup out the gate, like I'm not really panicking about my schedule then because it's like Mario Kart World and then a month later Donkey Kong Bonanza, and these are not like time sink games. True. I would call them
soul stealers.
Yeah, exactly. So I still feel a little comfortable, but like if another challenger approaches July, which Xbox, by the way, I think I'd keep an eye on them. My prediction with that is just they typically have, after their showcase, something going on month to month. And I feel like they're going to be the ones who spoil our plans for the summer.
100%. I think you're on it. I think there are so many things we don't know about that are going to be scheduled in these so-called quiet months, especially when we talk about our headline story and what's going on with that. So, things are coming out when they coming out. Like, what is happening right now, bro?
Yeah. I can't wait, though. I think Mafia is a fantastic series. I've loved every entry, some more than others, but every entry has always been just the world, the faithfulness in which it's created. I really love what Hangar 13 does. And so I'm very, very pumped for Old Country, because this is very much like Godfather is obviously a huge inspiration for the Mafia series, but like that sort of like Sicilian open world reminds me of like Godfather meets Red Dead. And, it's interesting because it does inform you a bit on what Take-Two might be up to, right? With GTA, you talked about October being that month. When you see Mafia's going in August, you're like, okay, that tells us something about GTA, because if Take-Two's publishing, as they are, Borderlands 4, that's September. So you're not going to, if you're smart, you're not EA, you're not going to put GTA next to any of these games.
Now, Titanfall 2, your situation.
But here's the thing, though. I think that there's a chance that GTA is a November game, because October is usually 2K, right?
Okay. I see.
You think that's a
good.
That's not a conflict of interest per se, but if you're going month, like if you're Take-Two, you can cash out every of these months.
Right.
That this is a game that lots of people buy.
You could be right. I mean, obviously, look, 2K, for as much as I be hating, we know what it does, right? And yeah, exactly. Everybody their mom's gonna go into their bank account for the damn VC points. But as far as the actual game itself, maybe it could take the whole month and be perfectly fine. I just wonder. Look, GTA fears no man. It'll be interesting though. GTA and Call of Duty in the same month.
Didn't 5 come out in?
You may be right.
I think 5 came out in November.
Maybe right. Maybe I'm overthinking.
I don't know, but sometimes Call of Duty does October.
True.
Maybe GTA's waiting for Call of Duty to make their move.
Look. One thing I go, GTA ain't never scared.
It shouldn't be. I'm just saying, like,
you know why I know?
You strategize around it a little bit, though. No?
Did you see Strauss's comments on Zelnick was kind of like, they're like, yeah, what's up with the we'll market when we're ready to market. Like, don't tell us how to do energy. Like, when we come through, we come through. I was like, okay. It was very veilly worded. And I was just like, they got something, man. We are not, because in most cases, like, hey, when's the hype cycle going to start? Like,
the hype cycle's here already.
Yeah. Right? They're like, you know when we come through, we'll just tell you. And I'm just like, okay. Yeah. But it's a good point. It's a good point between October, how that plays, if they want to do that. But I didn't think about the 2K aspect, which is huge. Or do they not consider it? Or just like you said, have from a financial quarter standpoint. You may have the strongest argument from a financial quarter standpoint. Month to month to month to month, you got something, and you just cannibalize it. So we'll see. This is gonna get crazy. But back to the bug. That's why I think my gut with Marathon was kind of like they're getting pressured. Sony, they got to come out, and you can't, bro. It's landmines. Yeah, you're gonna drop in October with a 2K, with a GTA potentially. You're gonna drop in November. But a Call of Duty, like you'll be forgotten so fast before you exist. So it's tough for them. So probably I think they're just looking at the lesser evils as hoping, well, Borderlands is PvE and they won't hurt us as much. That's just my random theory.
It also probably feels safe, right? Like it's not. You assume GTA 6 isn't coming.
Correct.
For that date. So you land on that date. At least you're probably not fighting against it.
Right.
But I imagine marketing will be in full swing by that point. So
hell yes.
I don't know. It's gonna be interesting how that game plays out, but very excited to learn more about Mafia. I think what they showed in the trailer looked spectacular, and I have high hopes for that game. All right. Well, last week we talked about the Summer Showcase Developer Direct title. We'll be talking next about the Developer Direct title, but naturally with the announcement of the Summer Showcase, we already got some rumors. This one comes from Ecstasis. I found this interesting. I do have to poke a hole in Ecstasis a little bit here. I like the guy.
Yeah.
You got to poke a little hole here, though, that it's interesting this information comes out after the showcase is announced. That, like, if you knew this was on the way? Wouldn't you have said it just in general? Because we knew there'd be a summer showcase. So I scratched my head a bit about that, but nonetheless thought it was still good conversation because he says Ninja Gaiden 4, Gears Collection, Persona 4 Remake, Minecraft Dungeons 2, and Hollow Knight Silk Song. So yeah, that's a pretty interesting list there. Obviously, the big ones being Hollow Knight is huge.
Yeah.
It would make sense because it's Game Pass title. Persona 4 Remake was one of my prediction. Or no, I'm sorry. Persona 6 was my prediction. Persona 4 Remake, very welcome. And Gears of War Collection, I think, is just like Xbox fans have been hungering for that for a while. So no doubt about that one. Makai, what do you think of this list of 5 games that might be at the showcase?
Pretty safe. No disrespect to X86, you know what I'm saying? If it does happen, look, Ninja Gaiden, we know got to be there, right?
You gotta imagine they dip in there because we haven't seen it since the developer direct, right? So good time to check in.
Good time to check in, see what's going on there. They already gave it its flowers. Hollow Knight is a guarantee. It's time. And then again, shout out to Nintendo. I've been looking at their press releases. All indications it is time. The wait will finally be over. So you
think they shadow drop? Because I feel like the timing of the Switch 2 release and the Xbox showcase and the Game Pass stand, I'm just like, I feel like when this game shows up, it's just like it's here now. Go get it.
Yeah, I think Hollow Knight has the strongest potential for that, and of course Final Fantasy, because the way I look at it, Remake, is that both Nintendo and Xbox are being respectful of each other's showcases, and Square is playing along with them. As far as that's my whole theory with that. So yeah, I think there's a strong chance that you're like, oh, here comes the Game Pass drop. Boom, here you go, or a shadow drop, that kind of energy. Minecraft Dungeons 2 will be interesting.
Yeah, right? Didn't know that one earned itself a sequel, but interesting nonetheless. I remember when it first showed itself, I was kind of interested, but it turned out like it was just okay. I was like, I'll pass.
Yeah, some people love that. I remember, shout out to my man, Jared from, he used to work at Lognet. He covered that game, and he did a crazy article. Like, people were really into it. So, hey, if you got it ready and you want to capitalize on this tremendous success that you have from this movie, you see what this movie's doing?
That's true. Yeah, the movie is like overperforming based on its expectations. People are storming the theaters and whatnot. I feel like part of it's the meme culture. It's like showing up like Despicable Me with the fucking suits on and stuff. It's like, it's a social event now.
Yeah, people showing chickens, and Attic was telling me it's crazy. I didn't realize. I forget because I'm in my hardcore selfish bubble, and I'm just like, whatever. Bro, Minecraft is insane.
Yeah, but the trailer looked awful. I think everyone was right to kind of doubt the movie. As for Borderlands, I was like, this reminds me so much of that. The movie looked awful. So I was just like,
I don't get it. But the numbers say
bad parents. I get it. It's bad parents, bro. It's taking the kids out to awful movies.
But right now, we are the old men. Rock, and the numbers say this is a phenomenon. The addicts of the world are like, they had all our content creators. They had the Mr. Matty Plays of Minecraft was in the movie. I'm like, really? They like content creators. They got all these bro. Trust me, see the face you making? That's the
I was making a face. I was itching my head.
No, I'm just saying. But you see your energy? Don't trust me. I'm like, what are people talking about? Like, I know they are going bonkers, and these numbers are insane for this damn movie. So to me, if you have a Dungeons 2 or anything, this is their Fallout moment. It's that level, Maddie. Look at the box office. Have you seen these numbers?
Yeah.
Look at it's crazy. Yeah. So all I'm saying is capitalize as much as you can, if that's true. Capitalize as much as you can. Now, as far as the Persona, I lean towards you. I would like Persona 6. I want Solve to suffer.
It's time.
It's time. Show that little trailer. Show something. What you think?
I want Persona 4 Remake as much as the next guy. I just think, I don't know, man. It's interesting because I think it's time to just build up to 6 only because since Persona is such a vital franchise to Sega and their income, they're really hitting it a lot. And I do worry a bit about fatigue of like the social mechanics. I've said this multiple times before, but I mean, you got Persona 3 Remake, you got Metaphor, like we had Tactica before. Like, it's a lot, man. Like, one of the things that people forget that made Persona special is like we had to wait for that next mainline experience. So when the social shit hit, it was like, like that was one of the things that kind of fall flat is a really strong term for something I consider game of the year, but like Metaphor didn't to me move the social game forward as dramatically as like 4 to 5 did.
Gotcha.
And I just, like the balancing of it's tough, of course. Like, but they had some good ideas, like traveling on the airship versus what you do when you're in the towns and the activities that are in the towns. Like, they created it in a more broad way, and it worked, and that was the more impressive part of it. But it's not like that addiction that like I had from like 3 to 4 to 5, where I was like, give me more of this shit, man. Where now we're getting fed so much that I say 6 needs to come sooner than later, because number one, I don't want people to be tired about what
fatigue.
This main mechanic of the franchise is, but also I think it's time to evolve it, and 6 has to be, I should say, that evolution of like what is social gameplay for Persona moving forward. Like, I think it is going to be a reinvention of what we know. Like, what we know right now is what you saw in Metaphor. Like, you walk, you talk, sometimes you fight. You don't really make any particular dialogue selections that matter much outside of, if you're playing Persona, it matters more.
Right.
Because certain selections you make, characters have to like. So you're kind of trying to mold yourself to them. Like, I think they could play with the psychology of it more, but I think 6 is the more interesting game. As much as 4 is a top 5 game of all time for me, but and I will be all over it. No, like, I will be out of my seat just as much, but I think it's time for 6 is what I'm trying to emphasize here. So 4 remake would be dope. I think it's probably going to come sooner, but people have been asking for 6 since 2017 when 5 came out to States. Like, it's been a while, dude. Like, it's time for 6. It's not even like, sorry, I'm gonna interrupt you, but it's not even like what happened between 4 and 5 was they did a ton of spin-offs. They did 4 Dancing, they did 4 Arena Ultimax, they did the 3DS games I'm forgetting the name of right now. They did so many Persona 4 games because the forecast is fucking amazing. So like, everyone just wanted more of it. But when 5 hit, it was like this, yes. But what's different between 5 into 6 is that we've seen 5's cast like in Tactica and in Strikers. But that's really it. Like, it's and those are very far apart, where I really don't know why they've spent so long waiting, other than I know the original Persona. That's the other thing. It's a little bit of concern for some Persona fans, because the original team that makes Persona took their talents to Metaphor. And
that's what I was just about to ask you.
Yeah, boy, can you feel that? So I wonder if 6 is waiting because they don't. I mean, the goats aren't there, man. Like the character scenario writers, the Hashino, the director of the 3, 4, and 5 Metaphor, the Shoji Meguro, the guy who does all the Persona music, Metaphor. So you lose the core identity of what made Persona. So that might be the holdup on 6 and why 3 remake, 4 remake come first. But again, my worry is like, if you don't reinvent things dramatically when 6 comes around, might be a little, I don't know, a little too much.
No, that's a good point. I think that was my question to you, because I was going to say, like, because the A team, so to speak, was Metaphor, right? Is Metaphor due for more content, and then maybe they use the remakes to buffer? I know we don't like the sound of it because we want our 6, but like, maybe do we get Metaphor content?
Are you talking like Metaphor 2, or are you talking like a Metaphor Definitive Edition?
Like how they do Royal. Super Royale, whatever, right? Because that's the energy generally. You never get expansions other than this Royale thing.
Yeah, so that list is like, it's almost a guarantee Metaphor will get re-released. It's they've done it for all of their games, so it'll happen. And that's another one I didn't even think of. Yeah, you throw that in the mix too. Like, so you get Metaphor again, you get Persona 4. It's a lot, man. It's just like I am talking as someone who adores this style of game, that, of course, or the adoration comes from, like, you don't get to see this style of game too often.
Correct.
Now it's so often. So I hope 6 is a grand reinvention, which is why I want to see it sooner.
Fair enough.
All right, Cog. Next up here, Outer Worlds 2. A lot of gameplay here. Kind of taking the wind out of the sails of the developer direct, in my opinion, bro. I was watching both these videos and I'm like, okay, I'm getting to hype stage now. I'm getting to that point. Like, they did some character build conversations and gameplay and some open world stuff. But bro, I watched both these videos and I'm like, what the fuck are they going to talk about during the developer direct? They just hit the 3 pillars: full gameplay, character builds, and open world stuff, that I was like, oh, so what are you going to show me at the direct? I'm like, there's nothing else. The companions. But I imagine IGN, by the time this video goes live and the show goes live for everyone, IGN will have covered that. So I'm like, what are you guys doing, man? Like, I don't know. How do you feel about this?
100% with you.
Yeah,
We
it's
had the
taking the win.
huge,
It's like I'm hyped for the game, but like in
yeah,
terms of Xbox Showcase, I'm like, man,
yeah, bro, it's
kill the
taking all the
mystery.
thunder. Like we had a huge debate on ILP about Outer Worlds, and again, my theory, and I think I told you this already, which was that there is no way Outer Worlds 2 was the direct showcase game coming in.
No, I think that much is obvious because here's the thing, right? We were talking last week about it when the gameplay hit. We're like, what's the showcase going to be like? 2 days in a row now, they have hit they did the character build video. I linked it to you. We talked about it briefly. And then today I wake up with like, bro, they did another one already.
Yeah,
I think this is gonna be week to week. And I know
right.
IGN First doing their thing.
Yeah,
I'm just like,
absolutely. No
no
slander.
slander to them. I'm just like, I'm
Mhm.
looking at it like, okay,
Yeah,
so what's left?
yeah. So basically, my theory is this: like, let's say Fable, we're going to use, they were the champ, or they were going to hold that
100%,
belt. That was
1000%.
the champ pulls up lane before the championship fight, can't fight.
Yeah,
So
got
now
a
you
bad knee, right?
got
He's
a
like,
bad knee. So now
yeah.
you got the replacement, right? He was next up in line. We like that out of the world's getting the shot. But what my theory is that they knew coming in that Fable was going to be it, and they had probably all intents for it to be that. So they like, you know what, Angel, we'll give you the bag. This will be an add-on because we got so much content, and we'll give you this exclusive. And then once the switch happened, they've already signed those deals with IGN. And I was just like, oh, yep, you announce it now. We gonna put it out. Like, oh, you see what I'm saying? So that, unfortunately for the fan, now it is completely taken all the thunder away from the direct, because what makes the direct dope is like when we didn't know anything about what Starfield was. Remember coming into
Yeah,
Starfield Direct?
Starfield Black Ops 6 even, dude.
Black Ops, no one knew anything. So you're like, all right. And then he's like, okay, this is amazing. And then you got a deep dive. And don't get me wrong. Like, again, like, I know Obsidian's going to do their thing. First of all, the game looks phenomenal. But I'm liking everything I'm seeing about the game. I'm liking the environment stuff that I did see today. You know,
Yeah,
kind of stuff.
looks good.
Looks
really
good. Looks great. But it's just like, I want Obsidian to tell me.
Yeah.
I want them to show me. And again, it's no slander. You got that coverage. I'm not hating. You're doing what you're supposed to do based on when you signed the contract with this exclusive deal. I get that part. All I'm saying is for the showcase for Xbox, it now, because of the new circumstances, takes away from it. Because like, yeah, we're seeing so much on everything. What were we going to be surprised by? From this. And that's the part that bothers me a lot. And I'll be honest, there's a part of me that's like, I'm kind of not watching as much in very detail with it because I want to save some level of surprise for it. But it's like, it's hard because we're learning everything.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm watching with intense detail because I'm like, I want to see what you guys bring to this show that's not a rerun of what we're seeing this month. And it's like, that's going to be part of the showcase grading, man. It's like, look, this is obviously the game, I think, looks great. Like, I am excited about everything they've shown thus far, particularly the character builds. Like, they haven't shown the flaws system that they're apparently overhauling as of this time. I'm very curious about that because flaws was a really good idea in Outer Worlds 1 that I don't use. I just don't use. Like, anytime a flaw comes up, like, oh, you're arachnophobic, I'm like, deny.
Oh, yeah.
Never beneficial.
I know. I deny those, yeah.
I have some questions about their character building. Like, they made, like, the dumb playthrough a negative trait now, rather than, like, that originally used to be just tied to, like, your intelligence stat. That was it. Like, if you were just had low intelligence, you were just an idiot.
Yeah.
So it seems like this is, the way I understood it is that traits are additive, so it's not, like, just stat based,
right?
A little more New Vegas coded, honestly. New Vegas had traits, so curious to see more about the game. No doubt I'll get my answers later this month. But yeah, the RPG building stuff looks good. The open world stuff they showed was more visual than sort of play space.
That was just like hovering and showing. Sorry.
Yeah, they said some of the right things, right? They were like, yeah, we want to like have places of interest, and they pull your attention visually. And I'm like, okay. What was interesting is what they showed was a lot of flat land. I was just like, I don't see anything in that 3-mile radius that was like, oh, what's that? I'm going to go check that out. So, again, very interested to see how they kind of dial that in further into this month, but also with the direct. But I feel like the problem is, I feel like as a Outer Worlds lover, I have enough answers now where I'm like, yeah, like this is going to be, I feel pretty good about this. This should be great. I can't wait to play it. So Isn't that the developer direct's job? I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. But again, has to be a deal where the contract was already signed.
Yeah, 1,000%. Yeah, just
there's nothing
nature
they
of the
can do
business.
it. And now they're in a situation like, oh snap, that's right, we gave that to the, But let me ask you this: how do you feeling about? I don't know if it's confirmed, but I just saw a greedy tweet, Aaron Greenberg tweet that was kind of like, you don't need to have to play the first one before. And I thought that was interesting. So there's no connective
I didn't
tissue.
know that. Oh, that pisses me off a little bit.
Yeah, there's no. I was like, we didn't get a chance to talk.
I didn't know that.
There's no connective tissue. So Attic pushed back at me. He's like, look, it's got to be the friends of the first one was canon, right? So maybe it's an after effect later. Like, I'm curious about that part because what was our man Phineas was the guy that brought you back, whatever. And then I'm like, so wait, there's no chance of Vicar and there's no chance of Pavard. This is a complete new. And don't get me wrong, I like old girl, the what is it, the cultist?
Faza, yeah.
She was like, you got this occultist with you. Who's that? I like that. Classic Obsidian, classic hilarious characters, choices, stupid dialogue things, funny things, skill check things that you can only do. Classic Obsidian, right? But I'm like, there's a part like, bro, I fell in love with Outer Worlds characters. Especially Vicar and especially our whole girl Pavardi.
Oh man, I got thoughts. Yeah.
How do you feel?
There's two minds of it, I guess, right? There's mine one, which is like, you don't need to play it, but fans, like, I guarantee Obsidian will follow this up. But if you played the first Outer Worlds, you're going to see a couple of things we tucked away into this game that fans will appreciate. The same rigmarole we've heard for years, but we'll see how that kind of stands the test of time. I don't mean to be pessimistic, but it's just like we've had this cycle happen so many fucking games where it's like, you don't need to play it. It's like, oh, so they're trying to get the newcomers in. And it's like, no. We put stuff in for hardcore fans. Don't you worry. I was a little bit concerned about that because one thing I noticed was in the gameplay so far, this game seems very serious. It really does. Like, it
does.
And the first one, I know I'm a little bit alone on this. I love the focus on the dark comedy of the first game. I do think if this game is like deeply serious, like it is approaching itself to be, outside of the science weapons, I think that people might do some revisionist history on Outer Worlds 1. I just feel because a lot of people, when Outer Worlds 1 came out, loved it at first. Then as like time did its thing, people were like, this isn't as good as I want. I want it to be bigger. And it's too focused on telling jokes. But I'm like, no other game is written like the Outer Worlds outside of maybe Fallout. And I'm like, that's what makes it special. And you're not that you have to agree with me, but I think people are missing the point. I'm like, this is a game that's like a commentary on like how fucked up corporate greed is and just constantly living in that space. So when it comes up for air in those moments with Parvati that are like heartfelt, that's why it hits you. It's a part of the formula you don't know you love maybe. 1,000%. And so now Obsidian, it feels like what I've seen so far, they've looked at that feedback and they're like, okay, draw the line, cut it off. Like, we're going to a new star. This is the Arcadia system, they said. So we're going to this new star system. So new characters, there's no board. This is a much more grounded, serious feel. And like, we're going to lean into that feedback. But I think what's going to happen is it's going to feel like, it could feel like Starfield,
I got
which I don't hate. But
the first trailer, I didn't get. I got old school Outer Worlds because
you're talking about very first, right?
Very first one. See, I didn't see
the reveal trailer with like the making fun of other trailers.
No, not that one. Not that one. That one was hilarious. Yeah, I'm talking about the first IGN one. The one where you remember they showed a gunplay. Oh, by the way, I got to sneak this in. What I do like is I forgot where I saw the snippet. Outer Worlds said we are taking our gunplay combat very seriously. We looked at Destiny as a benchmark because where we want to be.
It kind of gave me that vibe. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, it looked good. Yeah,
because that was my only issue. I'm probably the one because Attic be fighting on that one too. I'm like, not that the combat was terrible, but I just primarily used the time dilation, slow stuff all the time because I didn't like basic comp shooting. I thought it didn't feel the greatest. You know what I'm saying? It would be the way I would compare it is almost like Fallout traditionally shooting wasn't great, and then I relied on VATS almost exclusively.
Yeah,
and then 4 got better, it got a little better.
Sure.
But the jump I'm seeing from that shooting, the Outer Worlds 2, I'm like, oh, that felt good. That looked good. Yeah. But back to my original point, which is as soon as they got inside, and you had the hurt scientists. And you talk, bro, it was classic dark humor and effery. I got the vibe like they staying on point with at least that segment. Unless you see something else that I
I
didn't
didn't
see.
fully get that vibe, but
Really?
yeah, I'm trying to remember. I'm
Because
literally
remember,
off the top of my
she was
head.
like, "Wait a minute, who you are with that damn cultist?" And then there was options to be evil, and I don't know. It
It was
felt like
Obsidian proper. It just didn't feel super outer worldsy. Like the music,
really
the
okay.
crawling around with the knife and everything like that. I was like, this feels more like a first person shooter with RPG elements
You talk about when he put on
and ray
the
scanner
hand
and
thing, and you see the invisible people. That part, okay,
yeah. But I'm remembering. I'm going off the top of my head with the
yeah,
conversation with the scientist.
bro. That conversation was hilarious to me.
I don't remember.
Yeah, you
I
got to
guess I
go
didn't
back
feel.
on that one.
Yeah, I just didn't feel that way. But
Okay, fair
I'll
enough.
double check it. But yeah, I'm also trying not to judge it too hard on like what is 11 minutes of
11 minutes.
But yeah, I guess I'm just going off of initial like this is what you pick to show to the world like first things first. So
yeah,
there's a level of like what tone are you trying to deliver? What do you think best captures what the Outer Worlds 2 is? And I got a more serious vibe from it.
gotcha. I mean,
So
our man was slow walking everything, bro.
yeah, it was slow walking.
Our man was taking it in. Like that's why I don't want to get too crazy because that's why I love y'all. Y'all do your thing. But there's a part of me that's like, I need to see Obsidian show this because I think your man was kind of like, look, I want to show them how graphically everything looks. I want to take my time. I want to, kind of thing. And I get that. I think that may lead into why I think maybe you're getting a very serious energy from it.
Sure.
But again, in fairness, I need to see more, and then maybe it is, and I'm just seeing that one aspect, and I need to see more of it. And they have did a tonal shift, so we'll see.
Yeah. I'm keen to see more. I mean, I'm there. I love the first game, so I didn't really need convincing, but I also am curious how close to the identity of the first game they are staying. Like artistically, they're definitely there. Like the game looks beautiful. I can't wait to just be in that world. Writing wise, character interaction wise. I mean, I guess how I look at it is like Outer Worlds 1 like had a ton of laugh out loud moments for me. God. So I'm curious if 2 will have that, if 2 is gutting for that or not. And I can come to appreciate the more serious tone. I just hope it doesn't fall into like a very familiar bin, whereas like Outer Worlds 1 is very distinct to me.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
I get your concern. And the last thing I'll say with the latest one that I just skimmed over that IGN did was again, I'm just doing it because I don't want to spoil as much, but of course I can't control myself because it's Outer Worlds and it's what we don't enjoy. But when they talked about, I think they have leveled up on Hub World because they didn't mention like, our spaces were smaller, and stuff like that. And even though I agree with you, they did do a good job in that showing points of interest and moment. I don't think they just kind of showed this over flat thing, which I think did not do them any, didn't explain well what they were trying to convey. But if they do execute what they're talking about, that's the reason why I strongly love Avowed, because I'm like, bro, the thing that kept me with Avowed was like, yo, what is that over there? Right? Ooh, let's go. And then the next thing is Squirrel. Like it's that, it was a hook. And I think that Obsidian has leveled up in turning their hub worlds into these amazing POIs that you're like, yo, what's this point of interest? What's that point of interest? And then that becomes its own separate thing as you divert from said main quest. To your credit, they did not, I'm going to say IGN, they didn't do the strongest visualization of that in what they showed.
Sure. Yeah. I hope they don't take too much from Avowed.
That's one thing we got, man. Don't take that. I know you ain't like, don't take my point of interest. Come on, man. You ain't like exploring. You ain't like exploring Avowed at all.
The opening Paradise opening area was good. Yeah, if it's like Paradise, I'm down. That was good.
I think Shatterscarp is probably the weakest one, which is the fire one.
That was the third one. That was like the desert area.
That was the third one. Yeah. That one, the desert area was like, people push back on that one. What about so you didn't like the second one where you meet
kind of marshy place?
Marshy, where you meet the animancers and stuff.
That was okay. That's when I started to fall off a bit.
Okay.
Because like I talked about, my experience kind of started up here and just gradually
went down based on okay.
Yeah. So I hope that the game's a little more hardcore, a little more choice driven, a little more dark.
I get you on that 100%. No, you're right on that. They were
the
not.
only thing I'm on guard about is writing. That's the only thing I'm on guard about is writing, which I'm not. I think people have like lost the plot with Obsidian in a lot of ways. Like, you know, they had like one game that wasn't like blowing everyone's mind. People are like, oh, old Obsidian's been gone for years. I'm like, no,
They've
they
been
haven't.
terrible for years. Yeah, I
Just,
see that. Nah, we ain't doing that.
like,
Get out of here. Get out of here with
bro.
that.
Like,
Yeah.
what idiot said that and it just caught on because it's not true at all.
I am seeing it because what they try to do is try to throw up, no disrespect, like a Bethesda hat on certain things on them. And I'm like, bro, like,
no, it's not the same.
It's not
I
the
love
same.
Bethesda, but they've been kind of downhill for a good number of years now. Obsidian, and by the way, a lot of people love Avowed, which is the thing why I defend the game. I'm like, a lot of people, there you go, there's one right there. A lot of people love Avowed. So it's like, I don't get why people are acting like it's this fucking garbage game. It's all right, you know? But like to act like, oh, Grounded never existed, Pentiment never existed.
Bro.
Like these amazing games that reviewed well. And now we know in some cases sold better than we expected them to.
Mm-hmm.
Outer Worlds is fantastic.
Yeah,
the revisionist history on that game needs to be fucking studied. That's an amazing game that sold really well. It sold like, I think 5 million units or something like that. Like it did really well. So I don't know. I look at what Obsidian's doing. I'm just like, what, they had like one, for some people like me, average game. And you're like, they've never been good, bro.
Here's the thing that's pissing me off. I gotta say this. I've been meaning to say
it off your chest. Let's hear it.
You know what's pissing me off with modern gaming? It's like
I just say, sorry, I just want to throw out there one thing. It's like, I'm not telling people they're wrong. If you're on guard, like I'm a little on guard after Avowed. There's a reason why I'm not like full blown fucking hype train. I'm like, okay, I've been down this road before where I go the path of forgiveness and I'm like still cheering out my fucking heart. And then it sucks at the end of the day, right?
Yeah.
So the only thing I'm on guard about is writing. I haven't seen any warning shots, anything to be afraid about. But yeah, there was a lot of the player dialogue in Avowed I did think was just straight up bad. Mm-hmm. And so I hope the writing in this game is much better, more Obsidian proper. Right. I didn't see anything to get worried about right away. But sorry, continue.
No, I get you on writing because we know what they're capable of, and I felt it was more safe. And we've been down a chain. What I'm frustrated is that like we're in this weird timeline where if you're like a 80 Metacritic, you're a terrible game. We're in this world of extremes where it's just like if you're not a 90, if you don't knock it out the box on everything, you're gaming perfection personified. You're a horrible game. Like that is the new joint. Like there's no such thing. Like, bro, you know how many games that are beloved for me that were rated a 7? You know what I'm saying?
That's only that's been in the gaming culture for like over a decade now. It's only gotten worse.
Yeah, it's like, bro, since when good means terrible? Oh, it's just good. It's just they fail. It was. I'm like, where do we do that at? And then the thing is, this is my major pushback. Nobody's having fun no more. Nobody's enjoying an experience. It's the first thing we're going to is direct criticism about why it's bad. Right. And it's just like, okay, but you play all these hours because at least with you'll be like, bro, it's a good game. You'll be like, yo, I still enjoy my time. Here are my issues with it. Right. Yeah. That's different. Dudes they had no fun at all with it. So I'm like, why'd you play 100 hours or something if it was absolutely the worst thing?
I get the standard because in one regard, like it is a first party game. And I think it sucks for Obsidian, but like first party games are expected to be like the standard setters. Like people don't want them to be 8s, especially when they take so long.
Right.
You know, so I get it because people equate like time spent developing to just like moving forward constantly. But I think when we play a game, you and I like South of Midnight, we learn like, no, this game like definitely stopped, went backwards like probably 3 or 4 times, maybe even more. But yeah, I'm with you. I think a lot of people have, you know, as we've talked about a lot, have kind of lost focus of like, I don't know. It's not saying I'm not telling people to shut up, sit down, and just play and enjoy. But I do think some people have lost connection with the hobby. I do think a lot of folks have just kind of fallen in that pocket. I'll be the first to say, I thought 2024 was like a down year. Like I did not have that same energy and enthusiasm because most of the stuff I played wasn't really great. You know, it was really at the top half of the year where I got like, you know, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth and Tekken 8, like Metaphor was at the end of the year. And that's like, those are the 3 things that jump out in my head. You know, otherwise though, it was like a really slow year, but this year has been excellent. I've been having so much fun this year. There's been so much good stuff that like, I get when we get into these down years and there are these games that like, look, dude, my big 3 let me down last year. All right. As everyone are leading into the top of this year. But you know, if I can find my way back into that pocket of like, there's still a lot of great shit to play and be excited about, then I don't know what to tell y'all because like, you know, for me, it's at the point I have this excitement of like, you know, I'm reviewing something now. I can't talk about it, but oh man. And then I'm in a good oh man.
Oh man.
And then I hear about blueprints and I'm like, oh, there are people like Game of the Year contender. And I'm like, oh shit, I know that's on Game Pass. I'm like, oh, I want to try that. Then Oblivion Remastered coming. I'm like, oh, I want to play that. I've been toying around with Death Stranding. I'm like, this is great. Like, there's so much to play. Like, I don't know how people get angry at this point because for every one thing that does piss me off and I do talk about and use my platform for, there's like 4 other things that I'm like, yeah, this is cool or this is good. It doesn't have to be everything I love like a Fallout, but I'm like, yeah, this is cool. This is hype. This is exciting. This is interesting. So that's why I say sometimes it does default to like, yeah, people have kind of lost the plot, but I also think it comes down to where you look. Like I've just been off Twitter. Like I have been for a while, but this is like the longest I've gone where I just don't fucking use it. Like I don't look, I don't check, I don't sign in.
Very minimalist. Yeah.
It just like almost gone out of my life. And I just realized my whole perspective just kind of shifted. I'm just like, I don't fucking care. I don't care what Twitter's. It's one thing if like we're, you know, when the gameplay screenshots of like Oblivion Remastered, like I love the side of the Twitter, like all the tags and my mentions are people like, wake up, check this out.
Yeah,
that's
crazy.
Awesome. Like that's what I'm there for. That's what Twitter was to me, like that community interaction.
I love that.
But you know, nowadays it, you know, depending on what circles you pay attention to, it just turns into like a lot more of that cesspool. But you know, we all want to be away from for the most part.
Yeah, and I think that's probably more what I'm leaning into in the sense of that, you know, I don't hear about people what makes them like something, right? As much I'm talking about in social space. And then again, it's just the weird energy before anything comes out, an active campaign to destroy something. And again, it just saddens me because at the end of the day, I'm from an era where I had to fight for video games to exist. I had to fight that people would clown and say, yo, who plays that? This is a forum we need to get rid of. Oh, by the way, that Mortal Kombat, let's ban that. It's too violent. Like I'm from that era where we had to fight to exist. And I'm seeing weirdo energy of people who don't seem to enjoy video games. And it's just depressing to me. I'm like, wow, like this is what we've devolved to, where we're going to actively destroy or just say, hey, you know what? You know what? I know what it is. Last point. And I'll finish my rant.
Sure.
We have to learn to say, hey, you know what? That just ain't for me. You know what I'm saying? Like people can't say that. People are like, yo, that's garbage. Just the word, you know, like just destroy someone's joy. Like just say, bro, that ain't for you. It is cool. That's what I'm trying to say. And I think that I just wish we had more nuance discussion.
Yeah, I mean, there needs to be more nuance because I do feel bad for people who do enjoy things that are just like okay. Like I personally think about is and I know that position to like things that, you know, like for example, I like Final Fantasy 13. I know that's like a hot take. I hate that I can't talk about 13 without prefacing with like, my bad. I know it's a hot take, et cetera, et cetera. And like, we're getting to that pocket where games that are like, I know 13, the original 13, not like 13.2 or something where I think it's much better. But like 13 is a game that I know is like poorly made in a lot of ways, but I still love it. Right. But it, you know, for games that aren't in that 13 pocket where it's like deeply flawed and they're just like solid games that kind of check all these boxes and people still have to explain themselves. I'm like, that's where the standard has dramatically shifted on like, now people have to like, oh, I like this sound. I tell you what, like you're okay, dude. You know, it's like, I just,
it is different with the whole.
I don't know. I'm getting older. I don't get the energy as much.
Yeah, it getting older. We could just, you know, it had those fun little teasers and stuff like that. But it's just like,
we love a good roast.
Exactly. We could roast and be funny with each other. We try to have rapport, but it's like, that'll be like me actively destroying your joy when you are posting or just bloviating about how much fun you're having playing Final Fantasy 13. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Like I'm seeing that's different.
I think it encourages people to sometimes just keep it to themselves, right? You'd rather enjoy something and not risk the interruption of that joy. Like, why is this person being a dick? Sometimes I find myself in that moment of like, oh, I want to post this screenshot of a game I'm playing or a thing I'm enjoying on Twitter or Instagram. And I'm like, you know what?
Yeah, not worth it.
Yeah, I'll be like, you know what? I'll talk about this in like a video another time. YouTube community is great, so I don't really worry about that there. But I was like, I don't need to put it out here. Like, I don't give a fuck.
I get it for you.
To say about you know how I'm gonna like fucking warp my view on this game at some point or some shit. It's like I don't need to. I'm good. You know.
Get you. And the last point, I think for me, I've been trying to actively be better about posting that stuff. For me, you know what I'm saying? Because at least I just want at least those people that I know appreciate that stuff and be like, okay, he's having fun doing this, that, and the third. Hey, I actually like that joy too, and stuff like that. So I get both mentalities on how to handle it because of the climate that we're in.
Yeah, I've kind of taken away from Twitter when I do use it to not post about shit I'm displeased with, because sometimes I do, like when there's something I want to get off my chest, I still do it, but it's way rarer. But like I usually decide on to like excite post about something. I've just tried to turn it into that. It's like I don't need toxic positivity, but like Twitter, once I think you just go that direction, you go negative, like I think it's just like a whole fucking swamp out there, dude.
And it's rewarded.
Yeah.
Very well.
No doubt about it. Well, you know who's getting a reward, Cog? Rap Guy. He's getting paid.
Bro.
Doom the Dark Ages got some accessories revealed, a limited edition version of both the standard Xbox controller at $80 and the Elite Series 2 controller at $200, as well as a Series X wrap that's going for $55. You have a chance to look at the newest hardware from Rap Guy. What are we thinking?
He outside. He
Yeah, that standard controller,
bro.
That's nice, dude. I am not a controller guy, but Xbox is winning me over, bro. I've never had more controllers in my life. I used to make fun of the controller bros all the time. I was like, y'all are weird. Just buy your black standard Xbox controller, go home, shut up, play your video games. But all of a sudden, Xbox starts coming out with these fire designs. Do I have more over here? Hang on.
Bro, sick.
Oh, yeah, hang on. Even for a game I don't like, Redfall.
Yo, I got that somewhere.
Yeah, I was gonna say this shit doesn't get used anymore. I kind of a bad memory. And then Dusty as Hell is my standard Xbox controller, bro. Look at this. This isn't me, dude. This isn't. Look what Xbox has done to me. This isn't me. I don't buy this many controllers. I don't have this many friends. What are you doing, man? But they're cool. You know?
I feel it. No, bro. They killing it. That Doom joint is sick, man. Look,
yeah.
I've already conceded we can't get rid of Rap Guy. He's got.
Rap Guy's earning his stake here. Yeah.
His benefit plan, his health benefits, everything is lined up for the man. You know what I'm saying? He's got a long-term future there.
Yeah. Make sure he's secure there. Rap Guy is doing really great work. I mean, hey, he cooked on the standard controller design. I will be buying that.
That's fire.
I am like I love Doom. I wouldn't call myself like a diehard by any stretch, but like I remember playing Doom for the first time on Xbox Live Arcade of all places and on my 360, and just falling in love with it. I saw that fucking standard controller. I was like, oh, I need that. Because, dude, they even changed the face buttons. They were like the demon runes. I'm like, that's fucking awesome.
It is sick, bro.
Awesome. And you know what? I was looking at even the wrap. I was about to really bend the knee fully to the Rap Guy because I'm looking at my Series X right now, and I've had this Starfield wrap on it for years. Like, I have not taken the Starfield wrap, and I'm like, maybe it's time to retire the old guard after a couple of years and bring in some new blood. Yeah, bring in the Doom wrap and see what's going on there. I wish they did wraps more often. I feel like this is some Phil Spencer favoritism. Like, he kind of picks his favorite games to get the wraps. You know what I mean? Like, come on, there's some games out there that should have got a wrap. Like,
give me one who got slighted. Who Rap Guy?
Hellblade is one I would throw out there. Like, you know, let's throw a wrap on that one.
Yeah, that could have. Hellblade should have got what I was.
Yeah, like
they had like
I feel like every tentpole south of midnight is so artistically driven. Why wouldn't they get a wrap? Like,
oh no, I know why. These games going everywhere. That's why you're
not playing this there anyway.
Yeah, wrap it up, guy.
Yeah. Hopefully he'll have a job in the coming year. I always keeping his career options open. You know, Will he do any wraps for the handheld? Is a question. You know, skins for the handheld. He's got career options, man.
Gotta expand this man portfolio.
Yeah, I just want to keep him in business. He's starting to win me over a bit.
I will say this is
Rap Guy, right? What was the one they did the SpongeBob console? And that's where I started to really have a problem with Rap Guy because I'm like, what? I was like, dude, you're calling these shots. What are you doing? Like, why are you giving the thumbs up on this? But all we got is Halo and SpongeBob. You know, so we need to figure that one out. But sorry, I was interrupting you. Continue.
No, you're good. The decision making or Rap Guy. I think. Look, he's in the room. He's got to do what he got to do. I do think marketing has a very strong influence on what gets it because I agree. Like, it was weird that, like, you know, set for Avowed and maybe a couple other ones that didn't get it. You're like, oh, that's interesting. You know what I'm saying? Like, and obviously South of Midnight's out, stuff like that. I thought maybe they would have did something, but it is interesting. Maybe, what was the last? Maybe it's a Bethesda thing. Right? Rap Guy's tied to Bethesda, bro. Like, he got
doing?
He got a 401k over there, man. Something going on, man. It's just Bethesda he seems to be the most excited about. You know? So we'll see.
That would, yeah. Well, Bethesda's always done really good with merch ever since Fallout 4 because they just knew how to bleed my fucking pockets dry. I hope they do a Fallout one. Oh, I mean, they did a Fallout controller when the show came out, and this is my favorite controller I've ever owned. I think this with all the Vault Boys on it, like I will just put this in a frame one day. Like I think it is so fucking cool.
So cool.
It's like my go-to controller now. Dude, here's the thing: the mastery of Rap Guy on this one, right? Peep this out: the Vault Tech logo meshing with the Xbox logo here in the top middle for your guide button, right? They put the dashes there, but they kind of give you that Vault Tech. Like that's art,
sick.
Bro. That's
art.
Sick. Beautiful work.
They're killing on the controllers. Absolutely killing.
No, 100%. Feel the burn. Am I right? All right, this next one, dude. I don't know what they're putting in the water at Bloober Team, but let's talk Cronos, the New Dawn. It looks like they just need maybe a little bit more budget or creative freedom or just to put gameplay in their games, whatever it may be. But Cronos, the New Dawn, bro, this looks really good. I mean, Silent Hill 2 Remake was one of my favorite games last year, and they're about to show that, like, no, it wasn't just because we were given the blueprint. Like, no, watch us do this now. And this is like a new IP. It's coming out this year, and I think the initial reveal trailer was like, okay, I'm interested in the idea. They showed a little brief snippet of like walking gameplay, and I was like, okay, I'm interested. You got me on concept. They showed this gameplay, and I'm like, yo, dude. I was like, how are y'all doing this a year after the Silent Hill 2 remake? It looks great though. The environments especially look fantastic. Very Dead Space coded. Like I am here for all this. Voice acting sounds great. Like this is if this is the future of Bloober Team, I apologize. I am so deeply sorry. I didn't know you were capable of this, but holy shit. So what are you thinking about the Cronos New Dawn gameplay?
Bro, I'm in the same boat. I owe them an apology. I know it's not the finished product yet, but I'm like, bro, I didn't even know it was Bloober until you said that. I was like, who is this? This looks insane. Bro, the engine. I'm like, these are the guys that made the medium?
Yeah, bro. Like, I'm like, what? I was like, poor Xbox. They're like, what the fuck?
You leveled up now. Yeah. You know, bro, this looks, look at the monster design. I'm seeing some dead space kind of energy.
Yes, sir.
Looks sick, survival horror kind of. This looks absolutely stunning. Bro, the joint where you see he was walking and then the floor kind of the kind of formed and made a bridge in front of his. Wow, bro! But this is wow. All I can think about is my man right now, Miles Dompier. Miles, bro, he's got to be going crazy because he was defending Bloober from way back during the medium joint. He see the potential, and then obviously they had their magnum opus and with the Silent Hill, and we get to see finally that they get the shine they deserve because they had so much passion for that franchise. Yeah. But this is one of the biggest levels up. This Cronos, the New Dawn trailer, looks absolutely spectacular, and it looks like it is trending right now on YouTube, number 40 in gaming.
Wow,
and it's moving up. Right now, 7 hours ago, I'm looking at this trailer right now.
Good for them.
Spectacular looking.
Yeah, no, I'm happy they're turning the corner because for a while, I mean, right until after the Silent Hill 2 remake, I was like, nope.
Yeah, nope. They were butt of every joke.
Yeah, but I mean, the other thing that I was excited about when I saw the trailer was a lot of the motion capture work that they seem to build Silent Hill 2 with, which by the way is why it is to me the remake they did is like the version I'll always forever recommend to people to play over the original, because this is to me, like, I know there are games like maybe The Last of Us is the only other one that's come to mind, but I think Silent Hill 2 remake stands in its own on like visual acting. Visual acting is like very underutilized in games because we're used to like dialogue prompts and like the camera work's just very different. Like we're still kind of evolving that part of the medium, but Silent Hill 2 remake is like art in that regard. Like just the visual details, the visual hesitation of certain things. And like I always go to the example of like James looking at a drink on the table at a bar, and you just immediately get that hint of like this guy was an alcoholic at one point. Like he got into drinking at one point, but they didn't say a fucking word. And to see those sorts of bits of camera work, choreography, if you will, thrown into Cronos: The New Dawn, I'm just like, oh great, like they're getting their storytelling chops up at the same time as their gameplay chops. This could be really good for the survival horror genre, especially if they're going to be releasing it this clip. What's happening in 2026, man? Oh. Keep showing people up that these games can come out quicker. I love it. All right, Triple I Showcase came and went. A lot of indie announcements, but two in particular I wanted to highlight here. One for you, Cog, and one for, I think, a great match with Game Pass. The Alters is releasing June 13th, so it seems like you have one of your key summer games locked in. Meanwhile, Rematch, this is from the team that made Sifu, so it's that soccer game. They are now a day one Game Pass title, and I think that's a really good fit for that game. It went from a game that I probably wouldn't have bought to a game that I will try now because I was like, okay, the gameplay looks fun enough, and with that community, that multiplayer driven gameplay feels right at home with Game Pass. So with that, Cog, I pass it to you. I imagine there's one game and one game only you want to talk about here. You finally got your release date for the Alters. How are we feeling?
Feeling good, man. I know people are like, Cog, how are you going to hold up with your beloved game dropping it? Everything stops. Alters takes priority. That's how much I love what the Alters is doing. So
powerful words.
Oh yeah, and now they're like, "Yo, what you gonna do?" I'm gonna play the Alters. I don't know what everybody else gonna do. Like, I'm super excited. 11-bit Studios, they have me on this concept. I want to know where this goes. The different versions of myself, and Jan, I believe is the gentleman name that you pilot in your character, and just to see the latest trailer from it, really spectacular stuff. It's just such a cool concept, and I like the idea of cloning yourself from a timeline of all your different lives, and then I love the little bit of resource management, Mass Effect energy on the planets, and then obviously the choice and consequences, and also the classic XCOM. What I consider the overlay, the top layer building on the base layer. I think the base layer looks top notch. It looks like there's a lot of potential there. So it's a combination of 3 different things in one. I've never seen nothing like that before. As far as Rematch, I'll be real. Coming from Soul Clap, I was disappointed. I don't get any Sifu-like
I agree.
follow-up. So I'm like, all right. But in the vein of doing something new, I will admit, look, I'm not no soccer or football guy, right? But I was like, okay, that looks cool, but I ain't buying that. But now you throw it in Game Pass. Okay, let me check you out. Let me see, what's going on. So that's kind of where I'm at with them. Just like, damn, like, seafood too. Like you ain't go, you know what I'm saying? Like, seafood is beloved. Like,
that's an amazing video game, bro.
Yeah. So, and I think it's still in Game Pass. Go check that out. But yeah, Rematch, I will say they've added enough spin to the football/soccer genre, and like Rocket League in it, and then I love their animation team and yes, there's something about the way their games animate and their motion cap. They just look beautifully. They move well. So I'll give it a shot.
Yeah, no, I was watching I got recommended on Instagram of all places, like a highlight reel kind of clip from Rematch, and just like the passing, the animation, the teamwork. I'm like, this could be something. Like, I can see why they went forward with it, even if I wanted Sifu too. Like, I could see that level of like, if this does click, this could be like a viral game.
Yes.
And so I respect them going for it here, because I think it can be huge. So we'll see. I'm not big on like the art style for it though, for some reason. But that's neither here nor there when you're playing football. It's fun to play. Who gives a shit?
You nailed it too, because we're thinking, at least I'm thinking from an American perspective. This is the global game, right? So
it could be like its biggest market could be like the UK, right?
Exactly. And I'm thinking like, okay, if they nailed it and they have like a Rocket League kind of moment with like a casual, like the casual, like almost like NFL blitz kind of thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if they nail it, they could have gone for it, and maybe they have something special. So there's a chance that I could be dead wrong with this, and this does become a viral sensation if it can catch on in these all these other territories where soccer is the international sport.
Absolutely. Couple of quick ones as we wrap up and talk about what games we're playing. Sea of Thieves is headed to Battlenet on May 22nd, so perhaps the Battlenet experiment with Avowed has paid off, but otherwise expect other games to make their way to Battlenet again, May 22nd. Any thoughts on this, Cog?
Yeah, I didn't know about this. Thank you for telling me. Well, I told you, Battlenet is interesting to me. Trying to put games into that market and see if they can access it that way. I'm all for it. I think this has a lot of potential, especially if if they're doing it again, I would assume they may be seeing something positive. They want to continue it,
especially an older title.
Yes, especially and they're bigger games. Sea of Thieves, we know what that's doing right now. So on PlayStation, and then I'm curious that when that's going to come on to Switch as well, because
Switch
that
2 probably, right?
Switch is a perfect
Yeah.
fit. Switch 2.
Yeah, I think it'll do well there. All right. Next up here, Elder Scrolls Online ain't going anywhere, y'all. There's been a lot of speculation with the Oblivion Remaster and Elder Scrolls 6 on the horizon. That for some reason people believe that Elder Scrolls Online is going anywhere. I think people dramatically, and I mean dramatically, underestimate this game. Not only is it one of the best MMOs out there, and I'm a little biased, I do love Elder Scrolls, but they not only have done they've accomplished a lot of, in my opinion, what Final Fantasy 14 did for Final Fantasy fans. Like, this feels like a true Final Fantasy game, just like Elder Scrolls feels like a true Elder Scrolls game, but I can play it online. Is it my, initial go-to option when I want an Elder Scrolls experience? Not always, but I think it's fantastic. They have the most consistent support in the game next to Final Fantasy 14. They're always putting in new content, and they're doing the same this year. And a lot of people were surprised by this. And I was just like, why? Like, they've just been so consistent for so long. The other theory is because they are spinning up a new project, reportedly Project Kestrel, which there's a chance it gets announced this year. It's been in development for about like 6 years now. And it's reportedly like another MMO title from them. New IP potentially, which would be really, really cool to see from them. Probably way bigger budget too. But ESO draws a great player count, right? So I see a fucking spider on my monitor right now as I'm in the middle of my eyes just drifted aside. I was like, did I just see what the fuck?
You got Molly from South of Midnight is in there.
No, not in the middle of my fucking speech, man. I'm here dropping bars about Elder Scrolls Online.
It's on the monitor?
Whoa, it just went. Whoop.
Oh, bro, you better go handle that.
Take care of business.
Go handle that. Go. I'll keep talking. I'll talk Elder Scrolls.
How are you feeling about Elder Scrolls Online?
Look, man, while Maddie destroys an arachnid.
God, I feel bad, but like,
he's about to handle his business, y'all. I hate spiders too. Oh yeah, smash.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry, pal.
So I think it's one of those things with Elder Scrolls Online that it has to still be extremely successful. In the iterations that it's
boy.
You got him?
No, I didn't.
Oh, he loose.
No, where is he now?
No, he loose now.
Nah, bro, I hate this. Is it on the other side of my monitor? Hang on, I gotta get on my feet.
Go ahead. Maddie's taking care of some serious business right there. There's a fugitive running loose.
Hang on.
Oh, he jumping on the chair. Your audio listeners, he is jumping on the chair to go handle a spider that has run loose on his mind. This is professional podcast. He's about to execute this thing, and I'm telling you, about to see it live, y'all. This is grounded. And now we got him?
Yeah.
Oh, you smashed him quick, bro.
I had to make it quick. I'm a merciful guy.
Merciful. Okay. Got you.
Whoa. Where were we, man? Sorry about that.
No, you good. No, we definitely Elder Scrolls.
That was a huge disruption of this is my sanctuary, bro. I don't get bugs in here. Damn.
I thought you were gonna have to call Rufus.
Yeah.
But all jokes aside,
like a creepy looking spider too. Hell no.
It was big.
It was just like one of those like wiry spiders.
That's a violation of the space.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. This is my peaceful zone. No bugs allowed, nothing like that. All right, sorry. Please continue.
Nah, you good. Pretty much all I was saying was Elder Scrolls, as far as the amount of support it gets, it's deserved. The community is great. How they consistently evolved it. It ain't going nowhere, bro. So yeah, for people who thought, it was going to, what it is, people unfortunately put their hate of waiting on mainline Elder Scrolls games energy into hating on this.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I get it to an extent. Yeah, because like Elder Scrolls fans have been way more patient than I think they've had to be, because ESO I think is like an amazing video game. Mm-hmm. To be fair though, between then and now, they have, until Oblivion Remastered changed it, you got Elder Scrolls Legends, a fucking card game. You got Castles, a Fallout Shelter clone, and you got Blades, which is like the most freemium game of all time. So they've gotten handed like a lot of like, yeah, we want your Skyrim money. Oh, sorry, I forgot Skyrim Anniversary Edition in the middle of all that. Like, if I'm an Elder Scrolls fan, yeah, I'm pissed. And I get why they target this, I guess, but I also don't, because I'm like, this is a great video game that like you can get as an Elder Scrolls fan a lot out of. And ZeniMax Online cares. I think they just do really good work. they announced here that there's a major new zone coming to the game.
Oh.
This storyline actually continues the original 2014 game story. They're telling it in 2 parts. They're calling it Seasons of the Worm Cult.
Yeah, I'm seeing it right now.
The first part is June 18th. The second part's later this year. They have here on their content pass Fallen Banners. It's a dungeon pack. Like I said, Seasons of the Worm Cult Part 1 is a new zone and story in June. The Writhing Wall event, Feast of the Shadows, dungeon pack. And then again, Part 2, another zone expansion and story finale for Seasons of the Worm Cult. Like, dude, the price, the content pass is $50, so you get all of this for $50. And they've done this every year. They just keep pounding away with content. So I'm here for it. It's a game, honestly, I wish I could play more of. Every time I fire it up, it's just very magical to me. Maybe it's because it's one of the few MMOs that I was there when it was born.
Yes, me too.
So, like kind of like I played it when it was bad. Like 2014, it wasn't very good. It was very mediocre would be the best word for it. But with Tamriel Unlimited, dude, you could not have dropped a perfect response. No sub fees. We're listening to you. First person gameplay, more exploration, more single player driven content. And they never veered away from that. So just, a really, really fun time. Good quests, good storytelling, even good, just a great world to be in. I love, and also comparatively speaking to 76, Elder Scrolls works really well in an online format. I think.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's fantastic. And like you said, I was there from the very beginning. And I seen it when it was in its kind of mediocre stage, but I saw the potential of it. And the feedback, like you said, to the Tamriel Unlimited is what it took it to the next level. Then they did that thing where they were giving all the content packs if you were in Game Pass, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Everything go up jump. Then, bro, as a Destiny fan, I get jealous because I look at this graphic of a roadmap and I see exactly what I'm getting, when I'm getting it.
Every year they do it. That's the thing that people always sleep on with them. I'm like, people complain so much about like, these online games, they're paying attention. I'm like, ESO is one of the most well-oiled machines I've seen. It's so every year you can count on them. Every June they're going to have something. They never miss, which is why I think they've gotten so much time with whatever this new IP is, and why I think it's going to be huge. Because I think this is like Elder Scrolls Online is massive, but I think if you're talking like this is going to put them back on the map again, whatever this Project Kestrel is, I think is going to be massive for them.
Yeah,
I think people. This could be a sleeper candidate for like big game of the show for this summer showcase. But I get carried away a little bit with it only because I've guessed that this game's going to be revealed for 2 years now. Because I'm like, it's been in development for like 4 years, 5 years, now 6 years. I'm like, you got to show it this year, right? Like this has
one would think. Yeah.
But we'll see. Excited nonetheless. Congrats to Elder Scrolls Online on its continued success.
Absolutely.
Last little bit of news here, because we talked about last week, just the pickup, because we said Zenless Zone Zero was going to get an Xbox announcement. It's coming to Xbox in June. So if you're into Hoyoverse games, you get to enjoy a little bit of that in June on your Xbox. Cog, I don't know if you have any thoughts on it, but stage is yours if you do.
No, not much. Just Hoyoverse stuff is huge. Don't miss the platform. And I love, again, course corrections, getting things on the platform. I'm always a fan.
Absolutely. All right, sir. Time to talk about what we are playing. I like your little duo here, Cog. Walk me through it.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Lord Petey, man. He reached out to me, and as a person who, he does everything for me at lordsgaming.net, and then obviously conventions and planning, and he wears every hat. And he's just like, hey man, I'm doing my streaming channel and I want you to be a part of it. You know what I'm saying? And he's like, let's pick a game. And he was like, he mentioned Split Fiction. I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I got to get that done. That's something, so we'll break it up. We'll do sessions, 4-hour sessions here, 1 week and do it that way. So look, confession. When I saw Split Fiction, I'm like, oh, it looks amazing. It's Joseph Ferris. I ain't too worried, right? Looks cool. And I played Split Fiction for the first time. Maddie. Yo, I wasn't ready.
Wow.
Now, granted, I'm like, all right, trying to get around the basic controls. You got your two protagonists. Bro. First of all, Joseph Ferris, you ain't slick. You ain't slick, bro. This is the ultimate subliminal at going at corporations and the developer struggle. And literally, the game is like. I feel like listen. He ain't gonna never say that because this is the Overlords. But I feel like one of the characters, the antagonists, got Andrew Wilson energy from EA. I'm just saying, he kind of looked like him. I'm just saying, you may not have been going that direction, Joseph, because you want to keep your well, they can't say that to you because you running everything in the building. You
I wouldn't be surprised if he's very open in his team about that. Like, make it like Andrew Wilson. Yeah.
As a person who listens to hip hop, this feels like a subliminal diss track at corporations and people stealing ideas and trying to monetize them in a very manufactural kind of way.
I love that. I love that there's a game that exists with that kind of story to tell. It makes me really want to check it out. Laylee and I have been talking about when it started up.
Basic jumping around. Okay, you got your jump, you got your burst, you got your double jump, you got your you got your right bumper kind of like glide into, almost like South of Midnight, how you glide into something, you attach yourself to something, and then boom, you got your wall running, right? Mm-hmm. So way more platforming than I thought. Because mind you, I haven't platformed in a while, y'all. Mm. So full disclosure, right? Little rust, bro. This game is so revolutionary on what it's doing. Like you start off and you just get in the feel of this world, and you two in the world, and obviously one is a sci-fi writer and the other chick is like a fantasy writer. They don't really get along, and they're trying to navigate this world. Okay? Apparently this game is inspired by his two daughters, right? So the cool thing is, like, bro, we did the section with the cyberpunk world. Bro, the things that you can do, as I'm picking the country chick, she's kind of ditzy, and like I could grab items, hold it, and then throw them almost like a rope attached to something and throw them, right? Mm-hmm. Then the other chick, she's kind of like got this cyber ninja thing going on, and she could magnetically stick the wall. So in the map, you look for purple cues that she can interact with. And for me, I look for green things that I can manipulate. So there are times where I am creating paths by grabbing blocks and ripping them off and putting in their space so that she can magnetically move and go and basically work together to progress us, move forward. The thing that blew me away is not only things are so uniquely designed, there are classic callbacks to vintage gaming. Like where, like, I consider like there's a part where it's the Donkey Kong letter where there's this thing's throwing barrels at you and you got a platform, you got to jump, escape, do all this stuff. But where it takes it to the next level, combat in this game. Bro, I am grabbing people up, throwing them into enemies that's shooting you. There's boss battles. There was a section that we were on motorcycles and like she's shooting on the back. I'm swerve. I can't even I can't even describe this game. There is nothing like this. It is the most unique ideas I've ever. It's to the point we paused the game. It's like, how did you even think about? I'm talking about perspective changes where the game is going straight like this. Then you got when it's going to the side. Seamless switching. You got things where I'm piloting a jet and you're the turret guy. Insane concepts. There was joist and they got like these these worlds, they're like bonus stages where you go into it. There was one where we were both pigs and there's nothing I can say that's going to describe this game. It's going to sound nonsense. Everything I'm about to say sounds nonsense.
It sounds like a ton of different gameplay mechanics.
It's like someone said, let's take everything from every game ever made, but not only do that, let's create original ideas and concepts where two players have to either work together to help progress, but also we're going to be forgiving enough that if you have a bad player, they can kind of respawn, and only if both of you die together, then the mechanic may stop and you have to restart. They've got bosses with phases. Maddie, I can't, it's so amazing. I can't put my finger on describing it in a conventional way because it's so unconventional. The last part I'll say is when I got to the fantasy world, let me explain how unconventional it is. That's the best way I can describe it. I get to the fantasy world. So my character, right, she can turn into a little fairy that can then hover glide over distances, right?
Okay.
Then I can transform into form 2, which is my human form, which I can wall run, I can grab on ropes and stuff like that. Then I have a third form where I am literally Groot from Guardian of the Galaxy, where I'm a tree option, and then I attach myself to structures and move things around. My partner, she has 3 forms. She has this one where she can now go into the water and swim like a shark and then use her thing in the water to help me get across objects. She has a second form where she's a human, and then a third form where she's a gorilla and she's attaching herself and climbing. All 3 of these forms are utilized together in conjunction to help us get through platforming sections, and you have to know when to use it and to switch. And you can morph to 3 on the fly at any time. That is one level of split fiction. You get me? That's what you know what I'm saying. That's somebody's whole game. He had that in one level. Bro, he is now I have to step back. Remember, I told you I came into the game hating on this man when his first debut.
That's so funny to think about. I loved his energy immediately.
Bro, where he is, there is no one in gaming that thinks like this, man. He is at a level right now. His trajectory is getting into, you know how Kojima gets into that? He is going there now.
Yeah.
100%. He's in his own class. Joseph Ferris, I'm halfway through. There was a level that I know you were inspired by the game R-Type, which is a side-scrolling shooter with power-ups, and it turned into a boss battle. Man, I don't want to spoil this is the most amazing thing. Like, anyone who said, I remember when Addict and Hogue, people I respect, was like, yeah, game of the year. I'm like, that? Really? It looked cool, it looked fun. Play it. Play it. You and Layla gonna have a ball.
I know. No, I thought it looked better than It Takes Two.
Oh, so. It Takes Two. Love It Takes Two. Don't get me wrong. Love It Takes. Yeah. Bro, there's funny things. Arcade was watching us stream and me and PD streaming. There was a level where it's a glizzy. You turn into a hot dog. And one person had to put condiments on. I was like, who thinks of this? This was a side bonus level. This was extra content.
I love that.
Voice acting is hilarious. Doesn't take itself too seriously, but at the same time, very action-packed. It's tense, it's tension, it's great platform, it's great shooting, there's combat. I don't even know what else to say. I am blown away. This game is going to get nominated for a ton of things, and for pure originality in the space. I'll let you know as it continues. We'll see if they land the plane. I don't see any reason why they will not. Like we did about 4 or 5 hours on stream. I didn't want to stop playing. It was that addicting. Yeah. The ultimate thing, which we already knew about feature-wise. I think the fact that he got corporate EA, to bend the knee and say, if you don't have the game, you download this friend pass and you could get there and play with your guy for good is amazing. And the split screen is really well done. It goes from split screen, full screen when you guys are doing stuff together, side scrolling, up, vertical, like you name it, it does it, and it does it. And the control is tight. The graphics are good. I feel like it feels like Frostbite, I would say, on certain things. But Maddie, you have to play this. I don't even, because you describe, I'm not a game reviewer. You describe games eloquently. I'm just sitting there, I'm like, what is happening? And why is this amazing? And why is everything like the controls so dope and so good? Split fiction, wow. I'll let you know how that
no, it's on my list. It's this stretch from now till I'd say whenever Doom is done, that's like my window of just like I'm locked into shit, but like it's on my list of like I know I have to play this. Yeah. There's certain games I want to get to, like a Blueprints. I'm like, I want to, but I know that's not fully my bag. So I'm kind of like, taking my time if I get to it. But Split Fiction is one that like Rand texted me about it like right away. When the reviews went up, he was just like, hey dude, like just want you to know. He's like, if you liked It Takes Two, which I was like, yeah, I thought It Takes Two was great. He's like, it makes this game look like It Takes Two was an experiment.
Bro, let me tell you, you need to play this game for one reason only. This game makes you feel good about the video game industry. It makes you feel good, like, yo, I haven't felt like this. Just pure, unadulterated fun and things you go, wow, I've never seen this before. This is so cool. And bro, Joseph Ferris, like I said, I've apologized in the past before for my earlier slander, your debut slander. I will apologize again. you are on track to be a luminary in this game, and I couldn't be smiling more enough as I'm playing this game. So I can't wait to see where it ends. And yeah, I'll let you know how the journey continues, because we're doing a weekly series of streaming with me and Lord PD. Shout out to, I gotta support my man. I gotta plug my man. He's trying to get his views up. His I think, what is it, the partnership stuff when you got to get like so go sub to Lord PD,
and then you can do subs. I think is how it goes.
Lord PD TV on Twitch, and he's also Lord PD TV on YouTube. Wherever you want to watch him, support my man. And I'm so glad he made me do this. I'm like, yo, we can't wait for the next session. So that's it. And then obviously the second one is probably about 80%. I feel done with KCD 2.
Sure.
Oh, I'm moving and grooving. Heartfelt moments just happened. Without spoiling, not only just a payoff, an ultimate revelation happened. And it was really coolly done with Henry's character, Henry's backstory kind of thing. I am definitely knee deep into the political movements with Sigismund and Wenceslas, the great kings of Bohemia at the time, and all the things that's going there. Great representations of culture right now that I feel I want to give them a shout out in terms of the Jewish contribution. I didn't realize from a historical standpoint how much they played a factor in Bohemia and the lords and legends that's going on right there. I would say that right now, I had another magical moment. What's my man? Father Godwin had another moment that I was like, wow, this was really cool and a touching moment. It's starting to get real heartfelt stuff now. And and the tension is really ratcheting in a dope way. And I want to shout out one side quest though. There's a side quest with Catherine that a lot of people have missed that I've heard. I feel bad for you if you missed this side quest. This side quest is not only one of the most funniest in a game, but one of the coolest whodunit murder mysteries I've ever really seen a side quest game do. And you really have to utilize it's a long quest, and you have to utilize all the clues involved, and then the resolution on what you do with a very morally gray area. And I will say the actress who did Catherine in this thing was so funny and so well acted, because without spoiling, she ends up doing something to solve a mystery. She ends up having to cosplay as a whore or something. And I'm gonna tell you right now, this gonna sound foul. Her horror game is the funniest thing I've ever seen in a video game. I was like, who motion captured this part? Who did this? Who did? Because this is the funniest. You can tell they are having a ball doing this game. So yeah, about 75-80%, because I gotta get it done. Hopefully done in there too. And I gotta spoil the cast. Just spoil it. We will be doing something in the realm of LSM that's we were planning. So I want to be a part of this thing. So I want to get it knocked out. But I'm having a ball so far.
Yeah, you got a good slate here. I can't talk about the thing I'm mostly playing right now, but I cannot wait to talk about it. So currently on lockdown for that one. So maybe I actually don't remember how. I don't know if it'll be next week or not. I don't know, but
I can't wait to hear from you from that.
Yes,
cannot wait to hear from
yes.
you. Boy, chomping at the bit.
Yeah. But what I have been playing before this arrived.
Yes.
Death Stranding. I committed. So I had pretty much KCD2 in front of me. I had Death Stranding in front of me. I went with Death Stranding because, again, KCD2 put it down at a perfect spot. And I knew something was getting dropped soon anyway. So I thought, I'm not trying to pick up KCD2 to drop it again. When I pick up KCD2, it's like, okay, we're going. Like, this is the main game.
Let me interrupt you for a quick second, because hardcore mode dropped. They got another patch that's dropping. And by the time you get into it, there's going to be a big content drop with, I forgot the name. It looks really cool. So I think you putting off KCD2 is actually smart for you.
It kind of reminds me of what I did with Baldur's Gate 3. I put that off after Starfield. And it really worked out because the game was like fixed and it had like tons of shit added to it. Like they fixed the endings and everything. I was like, oh, this is excellent. Like, okay, cool. So since I've been seeing them continuously add stuff, I'm like, this feels like the right choice for now. Until, like, honestly, it's funny. July was the month I literally was thinking for KCD2. Like, and here we are talking how Xbox will probably ruin that for me. But yeah, so I went with Death Stranding because I figured I was a little more comfortable picking that up, putting that down. So I've been playing a little bit of it, like trying to do like an hour per night is kind of my idea, like a little cloud gaming, hour per night, just delivering some packages, that sort of stuff. Can't really say too much about the story thus far because like right now we're going online. So now I'm starting to see the magic of Death Stranding in its gameplay, right? Like I'm jogging around and I see like 250 thumbs up, keep on keeping on. And I'm like, oh, hey, someone's ladder is here. And like, so I just crossed the river, no problem. I think this game's hilarious though. Like I really do. Like it is actually one of the funniest games I've played because I was streaming to a friend and like, I was being impatient. I was booking it with like 90 pounds of luggage. And, the way it's animated where you see Norman start going down. And I'm like, I wish I knew what the study they did on like how people immediately act when they're about to start going down. Cause I'm like, I feel I'm looking at myself when I trip and fall. And I just think it's so funny because your immediate reaction is like, oh God. Like it's like my panic matches the actual motion that I see on screen, the animation I see on screen. So it's just hilarious to play because it's like, okay, I'm going to take my time. I'm going to just keep huffing it. And then I don't know the name of the faction, but I had my first like, we'll call it like raider faction encounter where like these other humans who want to steal my packages. So bro, I got like 90 pounds and I'm just like, oh man, I'm booking it. Right. But yeah, things are coming online. We're connecting facilities now. The Strand is beginning as we're going from one side of the states to the next. And just again, really appreciating it for what it is. It is such a vibe of a game that it's tough to get going and get started. But once I got back into it in just hour a night, I was like, oh man, this is great. Like I'm just having a lot of fun with this. But then had to kind of side it for the game I'm reviewing because I'm trying to log lots of hours and I'm having such a blast with it. And so I'll talk about that soon. And then obviously Oblivion Remake is indeed going to cause some complications. So what we're playing section is a little short this week because I can't talk about
what big things. You're doing big things.
So
you're doing the Lord's work right now. Yes, don't you worry about that. Yes. I got you covered. This I was like, I'll be Vlovian because I know what he doing.
Number one on the news, Lord Cognito. It can only be one thing. Oblivion Remastered, although that title is a bit up for debate, I suppose, is indeed real following a leak on Virtuos Games' own website where someone used Inspect Element and found a suite of environmental images as well as graphics, deluxe editions that you could pre-order. Everything is spilled out into the open. This will be coming to PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, Game Pass naturally. It'll be on Steam via PC. No news on a Switch version yet, but it is real after the FTC leak and lots of inside sources going back and forth and much debate within the Bethesda community. The Oblivion Remake, Remaster, whichever you want to call it. I'm sticking with the term remake for now. Obviously, because we're going to name our episode around this and everything, I want to be clear about one thing for people who just jump to this point, is that we're recording this after the leak has occurred. We have not seen the actual combat. We have not seen dialogue. We have not seen anything. So this is a conversation happening around what had just first leaked in case anything else comes out that kind of contradicts where we're at. I just want to make sure we're protected. But Cog, it is real. And I'm feeling pretty good, man.
How we feel? This is you. I am here for you. My timeline was destroyed. And it was like, where is your man? Get your man. Where is he at? What's the temperature check? So I'm like, all right, I had so much stuff going on that day and I couldn't really get to you. And it was just so much going on. And then I think we both kind of around the same time I started noticing our reactions. Like maybe I was about a little like an hour off from you. And I saw your tweet. And I said, oh, okay, he's there. He saw it. And obviously shout out to the Rumble dudes in Discord and everything going crazy. But this is me. I need your thoughts. This is me sitting back. I'll make my commentary, but I've got to know what's going through your head right now.
Okay. All right. So yeah, I mean, the comments on my video were really funny because I definitely was just handing a lot of people a nice, hot piping glass of shut your fucking mouths. There was a lot of people making fun of me as I chose to believe facts and evidence. So I had a little victory lap. I was like, yeah, it's me, the guy you made fun of. That's right. So
Wait, they was hating on you coming into this? Like there were
Not
people
like
who
a lot of
thought,
people, but like there was a decent amount of people who were like, this guy's crazy. Like he's covering it so much. It's not real. And I'm like,
got it.
I knew this shit was real. I'll just say I knew this shit was real.
Mm.
So I just hadn't seen it, but I knew it was real.
Mhm.
But yeah, Oblivion Remaster is real. First off, the key art, I just got to get that off my chest real fast. It's not really what we're here for, but like the hero of Kvatch, shadow covering his face, the fire in the background. Whoever made that, give them a raise, because that is some of the most raw. That might be the best cover art that an Elder Scrolls game has ever received. Each Elder Scrolls cover art is iconic because it's really just about like the game itself, the world it's within. But if we're talking like actually making the player character feel like a fucking beast, oh my God, incredible. Now, I know that's not really what we're here for, but I had to say it. Just that is like, I said in my video, I was like, I didn't know the hero of Kvatch had that dog in him, but like, oh my gosh, fucking awesome. All right.
Woo!
Visuals. I mean, that was the thing. I couldn't imagine it for so long. I was like, what does Oblivion in Unreal Engine 5 look like? Even if it's hosting the original project, what does a glowed up Oblivion look like? Turns out a lot like Avowed. You know, that was like right where my head went. A lot of the vibrancy and saturation in the environments, in some cases, not all. I think some people are getting a little extreme with what I've seen thus far. I'll talk about that. But a lot of this vibrancy and kind of fantasy land has been stripped away for a more realistic color palette, more realistic lighting in turn. But I think some of these screenshots are selling the game better than others on a visual front, because there's one screenshot in particular of the Imperial City, and it is that cotton candy sky, that mixture of like blue and pink, that is like Oblivion at its visual best. And it is a 480p screenshot that looks fucking astoundingly good. Like it just looks so beautiful. So visually, now that I have this image in my head, I started to appreciate the little things they were just doing from screenshots alone. I'm like, oh my God, there's actually like pathing in the woods. There's foliage on the ground. People forget like Oblivion's just terrain in a lot of cases, with sometimes like little pockets of grass, but like now there's actually true grass. When you looked at the stone pillars, when you first exit the sewer, you see that it's like weathered now. Like there's actual detail in those textures that can capture the time period a bit. Like how long have they been standing here for? The lighting looks incredible. There was a point in one of the screenshots you could literally see the building reflecting off of the water. I was like, we've never seen a Bethesda Game Studios game that looks like this ever. Yeah. So I was like, this is huge, because if the facial animation, that's the thing that like I'll put myself in there, is that in the corner of like, I'm excited by what I've seen thus far, but there is this whole other corner of the game. I'm not really concerned about the gameplay per se, but the dialogue, the voice acting. Really, those are the two. I'm like, what are you doing with that? Because if that glows up, right? Let's say in this crazy fucking world, that glows up. That looks really good. I'm like, you now have Virtuos making potentially the best looking Bethesda game. That's a really weird conversation to have. But I'm here for it, man, because this is so different. Like there's been so many times that Todd has shut down, like, we'll never do remakes. We want you to play the games as you remember them. I'm so curious when naturally this guy steps out from the hiding and just starts talking about this thing. What was the decision-making process? Why are they doing this game? You know, what is the vibe? What is the feel? But my initial impressions are just like positive. I'm like, yes, dude, like this looks more like a remake. This is what I was hoping for. Other thing that I'm just holding myself back a bit on.
Okay, what's up?
A lot of exterior shots, and those exterior shots look brilliant. We got one interior shot. It was of an inn. Someone did a side-by-side of the inn in game versus the inn that is in the remake. And I mean, it looks better in terms of lighting and texture quality, but didn't seem to get like any sort of decoration overhaul, which is fine. But I wonder about with something like, as I've talked about, the dungeons. That is the most repetitive part of Oblivion. Even with better lighting, better detail in the environments, some of these dungeons, I'm not expecting them to be repathed by any means. That would be, I think, far beyond what they're going to do here. But I hope that they're decorated a little bit better, where I can tell what room I was just in versus the room I'm heading to. Because a lot of these dungeons are very labyrinthian, is how I would define them. They were the classic style of dungeon from Bethesda Game Studios. Like you'd run all the way to the end, you'd get what you're looking for, and then you'd run all the way back.
Right.
It's not like Skyrim, where you pretty much were always going in a circle. There was always a hidden door
Yeah.
that brought you back
It brought
to
you
the
back to the
entrance. And it was
beginning. Yeah.
beautiful design, by the way. They did that more in Shivering Isles. We also don't know what DLC they're doing. We saw in the deluxe edition horse armor is back, which
I can comment on this.
Which is okay. Let's hear
it. I heard from a very good authority that all DLCs will be included in it.
Really?
Yes. I will stand on this one.
Oh, well, that's
I
great
never
news.
do this. You know, I've never missed the information. I am from a very good authority. I will stand on this.
Okay.
All the DLCs will be included in this. So you're going to get your horse armor, shivering, all that. Yes.
Wow. That's exciting. That's really exciting because that was the other caveat for me. I was, dude, that's hype because that was the other thing. I'm like, are they going to do it? Because the thing is, Persona 3 Reload touched on something that I'm like, will other publishers and developers bite on this? Which is like, here's your remake and we're going to sell you the expanded version for $30 later. And I could have seen a world where Bethesda's like, here you go. Here's the base game. And then like, we'll sell you a Shivering Isles remake down the stretch. To know that this is all in one package. I mean, again, if the gameplay holds up, if the dialogue holds up, bro, this is about to be dangerous.
Yeah.
It's about to be dangerous. So I'm just, I'm feeling really good about what I saw. I want to see the game in action, of course. There's other questions about frame rate, technical performance, that sort of stuff. So, I'm really hopeful, but there's a lot of questions that still need to be answered. But I'm excited, no doubt about it. I'm very, very excited. How are you feeling about it?
Yeah, my thing, like I'm living through you, so I'm just like, how is he receiving it, right? And what's crazy is because I am more the Oblivion fan, I feel, than you are, and it's for me like, bro, Oblivion means so much to me, right? But I kept my expectations in check coming in with this. I was just like, you know what? It'll be a nice little coat of paint. I'm not gonna get too crazy. If they do anything extra on top of it, great. If they do combat on top of it, great. Remake. Because I feel like, obviously that was one of the weaker parts of the game, kind of thing. And obviously that running joke with my homie, shout out to Eric Jackson, they hit me up again. He's like, I listen to Duke. You shouted me out last time when you used to clown talk about, they used to hate on it for butter knife sword fighting kind of thing. So just make that very more engrossing, more engaging, and I'll be fine. But when I saw this, it's definitely surpassed my expectation. This almost feels remake energy. And I was just like, man, I was expecting, again, a coat of paint. And you'll get why, because when you get into, when we do Game Pass Pick of the Week and all that stuff, I'll explain. But, oh, bro, this is cool. I'm looking at this imagery and, I'm looking at that shot with them, with the arrow and the beast, the enemy coming towards on that tower in the distance.
Yeah.
That's kind of something. Looking at the texture and the lushness of that gate and that entrance to, I believe, what a dungeon. You see the classic. Looks like it almost looks like the Skyrim symbol, right? Looks like the on one of those gates. Bro, this is, look at the foliage, the detail on the ground. The terrain, like you said, you mentioned the box. Can we just say that the box art goes so damn hard? Once again, like, can we really because what's funny is it takes me back. That was my 360 avatar. I ran with that image. That was me. That was the Cognito. When you saw Lord Cognito pop up, it was just the helmet of that character. And I was like, because I was so in love with it. Oblivion represented, wow, this is what an RPG can be. Like, again, no disrespect to the Morrowind bros. You know what I'm saying? But this is what really put them on the map. But yeah, bro. And then like to get, again, confirmation that every single DLC. So we're talking, it was the Shivering Isles, the Heart Pact, and the Dark Brother, all that stuff. And look, now it's just a matter of what else have you done, right? Have you really improved this combat? Will you do anything to dungeons at all? Will you, just at that point, and obviously the animations, what I'm saying? Because obviously back then, we were wild back then, but, a little clunky on certain things now. And yeah, man, I'm really blown away with how good it looks. Now, the $1 million question is this. My concern coming in was, why are they not promoting this in the way that we should? So my question was, well, maybe they're not proud of it. And maybe it's a low effort thing that right? Because this makes no sense. Look at if what these leaks are true, we'd believe them to be true.
Yeah, and I've been getting the same feedback constantly of like, we're the marketing, Maddie. I'm like, no. We're on YouTube, yes. On the hardcore side of things, absolutely. But to reach, the random Elder Scrolls fan who's been playing Skyrim since 2011, which is definitely a real thing, how do you just, I don't know, man. I feel like this is a strange choice.
Yes, that I 100% agree, because it's just like, in my opinion, this is so core to who you are as a studio. This was your breakout moment. This was your fallout, jump outside the vault moment for this game in your company's history. Because you guys got like me, got me to sit there and say, okay, because I saw Morrowind, I was like, that's too hardcore. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, sounds great.
Morrowind's very tough.
Yeah, but my homies, that's what I work. I used to work with Solve. And shout out to Albert Einstein College of Medicine. There was some scientists, some doctors there. One of them was, again, young cat in the lab. Right? He was like, bro, I got this game on Xbox. I was like, oh, I got Xbox too. He's like, it's the greatest game ever made. And I'm like, all right, what is it? He's like, Morrowind. And I saw it. I was just like, I looked at it. I was like, bro, this is too much for me. I don't know what's happening. But when you come with an Oblivion, where you now get the graphical level to match the intricacies of what you're doing in RPG, and I get it, Morrowind is even more hardcore, but this is how you got
like me. The beautiful handshake between Skyrim and Morrowind. Like, it's got the freedom of Skyrim, but it's got some of the hardcore stuff that made Morrowind good, while still being like, oh, you swing your weapon and you hit someone, it does damage. Where like Morrowind's like, hey, is your short sword skill up? Because then
bro,
you'll make contact.
Everything that modern RPGs, done copied, which is like when I played KCD, you got that from Oblivion, you got that from these games where it's like, bro, by repetition, you level. So those skills feel earned. Like, oh, okay, man, my light magic my destruction is going up because I'm doing this a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a different level of addiction that taps into the synapses in a different way. But yeah, it's just, to me, I am shocked because this is so core your identity. So part of me is like, were you not confident in what Virtuos is doing? Why are you not having the splash marketing? And maybe they do, but it just feels like this is the most weirdest, muted, we're searching for the energy, and as content creators, we're hyping it up. But like, I am shocked that Bethesda's not like, yo, the anniversary of one of our greatest games.
Yeah, there's something weird because it's so close to it that I'm just like, what's going on here?
And then here's the other thing, Maddie. It's really weird. It's April. Like, all hell is breaking loose in April.
Yeah.
Right? We already talked about what you call it, Clerics Europe, South of Midnight, Towerborn. There's another joint. All April, one would think, if you are really proud and want to celebrate, you could even save this for a June showcase and be like, boom.
Yeah.
Out now. Like, it is just so strange how they're handling this. I hope I'm wrong. I hope there is some marketing push and there was something they were lining it up.
Knowing is going to be here too. I'm just like, okay, so there's not even a long tail to this. They're just like, here it is. This is everything you wanted, which is beautiful. Again, I as a fan, I don't care. I'm like, yeah, give it to me right now, even if it's a little inconvenient for my schedule, whatever. But for them to, as a business, especially after you see what happens with Hi-Fi Rush and that level of like, well, if maybe we put some time into it, what would have happened with the marketing there? What would have happened to the sales there? So with Oblivion Remaster, I think it's still going to do well, but I'm curious. The question will be how well. It's going to sell a lot, but how well will it do? Because I think this could be like a top 20 selling game of the year easily. Like I think 100%. But could it have been top 10 if you marketed it and got it to the masses? I don't know.
I mean, maybe I want to try to like check my own thinking, but like, because you said that people are telling you that like, yo, bro, it sells itself, but it's like, does it? Like, are we just bugging and like just that showing up is enough and people are gonna go, boom, I'm in. Like,
I think there's a level of yes to that, because like I illustrated earlier with Elder Scrolls Online, like there is a level of like, it has been so long since that fan base has got like a actual proper thing happening with the mainline entries. And while it is, I put in quotes, just a remake, that fan base and by self will happily take that any day of the week, because everyone's been wondering, okay, if you're not making Elder Scrolls 6, what are you doing? And so when you come out with castles and blades and legends, it's like, what the fuck are you guys doing? And, you know, the only thing Oblivion Remastered is guilty of right now is just being like so late to the party. Like this could have been in place of like Skyrim Anniversary Edition a few years ago. You know, it didn't have to be this thing where Oblivion Remastered is this thing that took forever to come our way. You know, but with that wait for Elder Scrolls 6 being at such like a fever pitch, I think it will do really well because there's just a lot of people who just love Skyrim. Like Skyrim is a generational game, and I think the reason why, you know, I brought it to Avowed earlier, I do think Oblivion's Remastered's probably core goal is like, how do you bring the Skyrim fan into Oblivion? Which I think some people are, well, that's an obvious, like Oblivion's great. Like, but I'm just like, well, Oblivion's a lot more like floaty than Skyrim. Oblivion's a lot more flat in the terms of like its visuals than Skyrim. Oblivion has less environmental diversity in its interiors than Skyrim. And if they can answer a lot of those questions, then you've got a whole different story here where it's like, now you've pulled that fan base in who's been looking for something for a while. Day one Game Pass 2. Oh yeah. That's the other thing. It's like, okay, the huge get for Game Pass, huge get, but also like, again, how many sales does that eat away at? I mean, based on what we saw with Starfield, but that had a very extensive marketing campaign, you could still be a top 10 selling game of the year if you're properly built up.
And just to jump in, one thing that we do realize that these style of games, in my opinion, like flourish on PC. You know, just in general, like the PC community tends to gravitate towards that Elder Scrolls style game, that, you know, that Western RPG style game. So, you know, maybe that's it. It's just, again, it's just very strange the way Bethesda's handling the marketing and Xbox is handling the marketing of this game and getting a hype cycle going. Because I thought it would really benefit, but we'll see. I mean, it could be. I mean, I guess the question is this to you, because you would know better than me. Okay. With the Skyrim remasters, the many of them, do they just drop? Like, I don't remember now.
They marketed Skyrim Special Edition a lot. Anniversary Edition was also pre-announced and marketed.
Yeah,
that's what's weird about it.
Yeah, I remember even watching like a Nintendo Direct and them, you know, going all crazy that, yo, it's coming.
Switch Edition was marketed. Yeah, every like Hi-Fi Rush was the one shadow drop Bethesda did. Yes. I mean, it was super exciting, but like that's why, again, I still feel like I need to play the game to get it, because I'm just like, this just goes against all business rationale. Right. And I don't know, because the thing that's interesting, and I don't know if it's been debunked or anything, but it's still like good food for thought, is the individual who posted all of these, like, hey, they have stuff on their website, brand new Reddit account. And, a lot of people think it's like Bethesda is a plant, like coming in and kind of like, and I only partially believe that because they've never admitted it, but I still firmly believe that. Do you remember the Survivor 2299? Pre-Fallout 4?
Yeah.
Bethesda shut that down after it was live for 3 months, but it brought the Fallout 4 community. It brought mainstream media into covering it. It was huge. And then Bethesda in December was like, sorry, y'all, it's fake. We don't comment on rumor and speculation. And the guy who shut down the leak his name was DC Hoaxer. And the handle of Pete Hines was DC Deacon. And everyone was just like, is this guy fucking with us? Or is that actually Pete Hines behind this? I mean, and it was it's still a crazy fan. It's still something I believe to this day. I'm like, there's no way Bethesda let that go. The year before, by the way, the short, like 4-month wait before Fallout 4 would get officially announced to build that up, let it do its thing. Everyone was biting on. Mainstream media was asking for comments for months, and they just shut it down. So then I see this, and I'm like, I think they're doing something here, because I feel like they're the type of company now that I'm seeing this twice where I'm like, oh, a brand new Reddit account just shows up. Oh, I inspected Element on the website and leaked the whole fucking thing. And you know what? It worked. It set the goddamn internet on fire, where I'm like, if it is actually real, there is a level of viral marketing here that is at play. But that's I'm not like a big conspiracy theorist either, but like, but this is the thing. I've seen Bethesda do this twice, and I'm like, you're a creature of habit. So when you're breaking habit and there are these telltale signs, I'm like, what are you doing? Because now this just changes the conversation. Bethesda went from the company that with Fallout 4 was like, remember when Fallout 4 was first like June showcase, we're coming out in November, and everyone was like, oh my God. That was like a defining moment in our industry, because we were in a pocket where like, you're going to be waiting a year. And Bethesda's like, no, like, we're good to go. Like, we'll see you in a few months. And it was unbelievable. They didn't do any hands-on previews or anything. They just rode that thing straight into launch and killed it on the market. So now they're shortening the window where it's like, oh, we're just gonna like drop this, and now you've created this gap where you're like, okay, you can either be in 5 months or you could be here tomorrow, and that's pretty unbelievable. So it makes you wonder what they do with Fallout 3 remaster, because that's next on the docket.
Right.
Makes you wonder what they do with Elder Scrolls 6. My theory was like this summer, I think they could show an Elder Scrolls 6 trailer. Do you now? Do you have to now? You know, so that it's on the business front. Obviously, the game, we have so many questions that we're just days away from being answered. But on the business front, it is so fascinating to see what they're doing because I don't really get it. And I think that is kind of the exciting part. Like, I don't get it.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's so many rabbit holes we could jump down to, you know, as far as the conspiratorial aspect of it. And, you know, I mean, we do know that obviously they were coming off of some studio shutdowns and some reduction and stuff. You know, I'll dig down. What if it's like, I'll make up a funny scenario. What if it's like, yo, we ain't really got no budget for you to be going out here doing some massive marketing.
Yeah, you're just a
thing.
remaster.
You just a remaster, bro. And then they go, but we know our core fans will love this. Get this little control leak going. Let's get this little, you know what I'm saying? And we going to build this hype for this game that it deserves.
That's the thing, is only the way controlled leak is a good term, because when you look at it, right, there was the FTC that was out of their control. That happened. We knew it was a real thing. That happened.
Correct.
Since then, dead silence. The only thing that happened before that was like a true bona fide leak that ended up being true, by the way, was that Reddit post of like Project Alter, and that was the Oblivion remake / remaster. But since then, you get these like random drip feeds from like insiders that are like, yeah, it's June. And then the information tightens a little bit more. Oh, it's next month. That was in March. Everyone's not saying the date. It's being kept very guarded. We're just getting windows. And I'm like, how is all of this out here, but no one knows the fucking date? I was talking to Laley about it. I was like, I don't know. I was like venting. I was like, someone's got to know the date. Like, I'm surprised no one's throwing out a date. But again, if you talk controlled leak, like these insiders whose job is to just put stuff out there for people, it's like Bethesda or someone within the Bethesda building's like, sometime in April. You know, you're like, okay, well, obviously they're going to go report that. That creates some noise, but nothing leaked on a visual front. Starfield and its gameplay screenshots leaks were out of Bethesda's control. Those weren't supposed to get out. But these inspect element, how long was it there for then? That's like the oldest trick in the book. Everyone was like, of course it was that.
Of course.
But again, if it is that, and it's a new Reddit account, it's like, hey guys, look what I found. How else am I supposed to look at that and be like, oh yeah, normal?
Yeah, the new Reddit account always is interesting to me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Because I get it. On one front, it's like, oh, I'm going to go, I need to make an account and show people
Right,
this.
to show people this. Right.
The other theory is what I just said there. I'm just like, the way this has been drip fed, it is like a mini marketing campaign for hardcore gamers. That maybe through like TikTok and what I do and everything, you know, that it's reaching people.
Look at the desired effect right now, right? Look what's happening right now. Social media, again, my notifications were crazy. Yeah. Where are you? We are looking forward to Duke. We know how the Dukes feel about Oblivion. Like it is, and then all the feel good for what Oblivion means to so many people, it's happening. And people are like, okay, what changes, stuff like that. And even for me, I'm just happy if I get, you know, UI stuff and, you know, I can see the sneak indicator and I just want basic quality of life. And I'm good. I wasn't expecting this. And then we see how good the images look. And we're like, UE5 kind of cooking. You know what I'm saying? So it is interesting that this level of viral marketing is already having the desired effect if it was a control leak. I don't want to throw the jacket on it, but it is interesting to me that you're one of the core pillar franchises of who you are as a studio is not being marketed with a dedicated cycle. That is very interesting to me. And I can't put my finger around that.
Yeah. It's something Ubisoft clearly does. Ubisoft always has control of the Assassin's Creed leaks, like breaking, here's the next Assassin's Creed game coming out in like 7 months and trailers dropping in like a week or so. It's like, okay, you know, we know what Ubisoft is doing. Yeah, man, I'm just really pumped. Like the idea that we're playing an Oblivion remake next week. I think the other thing that caught me off guard is when it was UE5, I was kind of looking at Ninja Gaiden 2 Black as the touchstone, right? Because I was like, okay, this is the same kind of project. Like it was an upgraded engine. It was hosting the project. Looks a lot better. Not like perfect, but it clearly looks better than the original Ninja Gaiden 2 Sigma we got. But this just, even on the rougher screenshots, I'm like, this looks way more detailed than, I mean, granted, it's a bigger jump, I guess. You're jumping from early 360 to current gen versus like mid-gen 360. Like, I think when was Ninja Gaiden 2? I think that was 2010, maybe 2011. I don't know. Or 2012. Who knows? No, 2012 was, it was 2010 because 2012 was Ninja Gaiden 3. But, that jump just looks way more significant. So yeah, it really on a visual front has blown my expectations away. Like even the sword had like, you could see the indent, the handle had detail. So I can't wait to find the unique weapons and armor in this game. The detail in like the pauldrons, the back of the helmet for the guy who's on the bridge with the bow and arrow. I'm like, that's it. I was like, no way. This looks so good.
That right there, that image.
Yeah, it's cold. So very excited to learn more, and about to be the longest weekend of my life. I'm just gonna be like,
what are you gonna do, sir?
Well, I'm gonna be enjoying myself. Don't get me wrong. I got a game I'm playing, so I know I'm doing great. But
does everything stop? How does Maddie emotionally navigate Oblivion out next week if it's the rumors to be true?
Well, in an ideal world, the job is done. My review is done, and so I'm ready for Oblivion.
Okay.
If it's not, I got a job to do, so I'm gonna just like dabble with Oblivion until I finish the review. That's what kind of comes with the territory. Okay. But I had to do that years ago. Just like take my heart out and be like, okay, this thing I know I would jump to and just drop everything for. I have to wait a little bit before I do like the full playthrough, but. But I will. It's lit a fire under my ass where I'm like, I gotta go.
Yep, you gotta get it there.
So,
fair enough.
Yeah, we'll see. Again, because I'm curious. Like, are they adding new voice actors in for like random NPCs? Are they remastering the soundtrack? Is Jeremy Soul's soundtrack still here?
Oh, bro, that I was bumping that all day today. Oh, that joint goes hard. What? That intro? Ooh.
Yeah.
6 day 5 years ago, I rolled this sled. And now I send you to open that Oblivion, the Gates of Oblivion. What? I remember it like it was yesterday. What? That joint used to be on loop. I played it today. I got chills. I got goose. I was like, oh, I remember when I had my Xbox 360. We'll get into what I'm playing, but I mean, to the Game Pass pick of the week, but I'll just spoil it. That's literally what it is. But yeah, bro, goosebumps. I just been in this euphoric high, and they should have never showed me that box art. I was like, oh,
I know. It looks like it's getting a physical edition.
Yes.
Which I'm like, so how did that not leak? That's what I'm saying. It's got to be control leak. I'm like, how did no one take a picture of this thing in like a warehouse? Unless they're doing it later. I don't know.
So I had to bust out the Oblivion joint. I got my Monologue Ball joint. You know what I'm saying? That was the first weapon I ever got in Oblivion.
Oh, yeah.
That mace, this is what I was like. I really appreciated unique weapon design. It was a mace that had the demons on it.
I think Mace of Molag Ball was Skyrim. Was it in Oblivion?
Sure, why do I feel it was Oblivion too?
Like Mace of Molag Ball.
I feel like Molag Ball stuff always travels through their games. Let's double check. Fact check me right quick.
Mace of Molag Ball, Oblivion. Let's see here. No, you're correct. It was.
Yeah, it
was in Oblivion. It was also in Skyrim.
It was late game. I remember it
because Mace of Molag Ball was one of my favorite weapons in Skyrim. Yeah.
I remember when I got that weapon. It was so OP. I didn't switch ever again. I was destroyed.
Artifacts were so good in that game,
bro. I was going through Oblivion Gates, wrecking people. I was like, the mace, baby. I got one of your people's weapons. What's up? That was my first exotic weapon in my life, and I fell in love with it. So yeah, Mace of Molag Ball. I remember that weapon like it was yesterday. It was Oblivion. I was right. Okay.
Yeah. No. Yep. You were right. Yeah. It was in both games. So
nice.
There we go. All right. Any thoughts on Oblivion Remastered? We'll save our bars for next week. I'm guessing.
Yeah. Save our bars for next week.
Much more to talk about.
Yeah. I'm hyped, bro. I'm very hyped. Like to see it tangibly changes it, and I'm just like, damn, my hype shot through the roof, and maybe. They know this, and maybe I'm wrong. And they like, bro, when you see us, when we outside, all that, You watch. And I'm like,
Mhm.
all right, we'll see. But you
Yeah.
never did this with Skyrim. You never did this with anybody else.
Yeah, I
Like,
don't really get it, but maybe
serenade this thing, Bethesda. Come on.
Mhm.
Serenade this bad boy. Give it the
Yeah,
proper
again, the
respect.
only thing I just can't piece together is just like it's going to be like a random Monday or Tuesday, and I'm like, here it is. Okay, like like I just there's no date or no significance. It's just like it's here. Yeah, like what? Like I said in a video a week or so ago, I said I envy the clueless fuck out there right now who's just like working his random job, comes home, has not heard of any of this, and it's like Oblivion Remake's out now, and he's like, yo, what? What? Like, I envy that motherfucker so much because I would kill to have that experience of just like coming home and be like, yo, Remake, one of my favorite games ever is out now. Get out of here. So yeah, they're doing something special if it ends up being pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Number 2 on the news coming soon and leaving Xbox Game Pass. On April 16th, by the time you're listening to this show, you'll have Neon White on your console in the standard tier. Meanwhile, for Ultimate, for all of these tiers, and I'll specify when it's standard, you get the Patrick Star game as well on console, PC, and cloud. Crime Scene Cleaner on Series X and S, PC, and cloud. Tempopo is on console, PC, and cloud. That's April 17th. Claire Obscure Expedition 33, Day 1 Game Pass. Series X and S, PC, cloud. That's Ultimate and Game Pass, PC, mind you. Towerborn, Series X and S launch, PC, Game Pass, cloud. Again, Ultimate tier. Coming at a standard tier, as well as Ultimate and PC. Game Pass is Far Cry 4 on April 30th. That's console, PC, and cloud. On May 1st, Anno 1800 arrives on standard Game Pass alongside Series X and S, PC, and cloud. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. Not the original, but like the Modern Warfare 2 from, what was it, 2022? Game Pass Ultimate, console, PC, cloud. And Dredge arrives on Game Pass Ultimate and Standard tier for Series X and S, PC, and cloud. What a fucking lineup. And then leaving Game Pass, April 30th. All of these games are out. Have a Nice Death, Coda 2 Broom, Sniper Elite 5, The Last Case of Benedict Fox, Thirsty Suitors, and The Rewinder. Cog, what's catching our attention here?
I mean, and soon to be Oblivion. It is. April is insane. This is an insane list of Game Pass games. And then
all of these are great. I mean,
yeah, it's insane. I was just looking at the official Xbox Game Pass account. And Theft Auto just happens to randomly
I did see that.
be back in there for no reason. Yeah, this is insane. This is probably
Take-Two's going to be swimming in cash this year. They got a Game Pass deal for GTA 5 the same year they're dropping 6. Oh, man.
Far Cry 6 is up in the mix this month. Anno, I heard really good things. I never played Anno, but I've heard fantastic things.
Yeah, it's an underrated Ubisoft series.
Yeah, this is pick your choice. And then obviously your underrated Neon White, right?
Neon White's amazing.
Yeah, bro. This is Game Pass. You're eating well. You're feasting. This is an abundance of it. This is gluttony.
It really is gamer gluttony. Hey, shout out the Patrick Star game. Really fun sandbox open world SpongeBob game. If you're like me, you grew up on like Battle for Bikini Bottom and stuff. This is just like dumb fun. Looking for dumb fun on your Game Pass. And hey, also cool is in the standard tier because we talk about Xbox trying to target like, younger demographic gamers. This is a good one to have in the standard tier as like a lock. You buy your Xbox, you get Game Pass. There's the Patrick Star game waiting for you. Pretty good stuff. But yeah, just a lot of good games here, and some we'll talk about soon.
Yeah, man.
All right. Well, Cog, if you got any more bars for us on our Game Pass pick of the week, here's your moment to do so.
Come on, guys. This is it. This is the last weekend, right? We know the leaks are here. We've seen that fire cover, but this is what I want y'all to do. You want to hit that Game Pass up, download that 360 Oblivion, because I want you to see it one last time. I want you to see, again, which was a good glow up for its time. We had the HDR, you know what I'm saying? We had the FPS boost, right? But fire it up because I want you to savor the greatness. I want you to see. You don't got to do a whole full playthrough. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to do that. Whatever you do, though, we got to make sure this, though. We're going to test that horse armor in the new one, y'all. Horse armor debut. One of the most hilarious shiesty tactics in microtransaction history was there. Oblivion was first, y'all. Don't ever forget. $10 horse armor. We did that. Yeah. But all jokes aside, some of the best questing, orrery. I remember when Spelltomes came out to really add a different level of stuff to Spelltomes. Obviously, Shivering Isles, obviously, Fighter's Den and all that stuff, Thieves Den and all that other stuff. You know, that's when I realized what faction quests can mean, how that affects a game. Right? So good. You know, I remember, halt! You've broken the law. Yeah. Like, bro, that dude ran down on you for stealing. You're like, oh man, that's penalties in a game. It remembers, and you get thrown in jail. Like, all of these magical systems. If you've never played an Oblivion game before, and you have Xbox and you have Game Pass, just download the Xbox 360 version. It's still a game. I tested it today. Nothing's removed. Everything works. Go fire it up just so you can see, because it's a fantastic addition. So this way you set yourself up. So now the new one comes, and I want you to see that night and day. I want you to see where you came from. And again, this is gaming history. This is Bethesda setting the bar, coming outside. They're stepping out the vault moment in the Western RPG space to say this is the future of where RPGs and gaming is going. And every subsequent release from RPGs have now been inspired and borrowed from them. I remember listening to, I think it was Gene, talk about how the Souls guys, was it Miyazaki and those guys, during the time of Oblivion and the Skyrim and all this stuff, they were like, yo, we don't have anything like that. We need to make something that, because remember, people don't realize 360 had this. This was almost like a pseudo Xbox, because I think PlayStation had some issues running it with the cell processor, and it took a while. So a lot of these games came later to PlayStation and didn't run as well.
Did as well, yeah.
Right. So Bethesda and Xbox became the de facto exclusive for them. And Oblivion was early in the cycle. And I remember firing it up, and I was just, wow, there's nothing like this. I remember going into a dwarven ruin. Was it the Dwemer ruins? Was it something how they pronounce it?
Dwemer ruins, yeah.
Dwemer, yeah. And being in the golds and the colors and the schemes and stuff like that. You know, encountering your first enemy. The whole idea of what is that in the distance? What is this structure? What is going on here? And whatever play style you want, you know, the magic, the fighting, classic sword and board, you know, Oblivion, for me, you know, that changed my life. Like I never expect, that was the first game. I came home, I raced home to play. And this is the game I would go to school on 1 hour, 2 hours of sleep.
Yeah.
Because I did not want to stop. I didn't care. I was having so much fun. I'm like, that's what Oblivion means.
It was the game that I'll always remember. It was like my first public stance as a single player gamer, because, you know, like your Xbox Live friends list always snitches on you.
Yes.
And like, I was a Call of Duty kid at that time. So I remember being in Xbox Live party chat, and it was just like everyone was on like Modern Warfare. Yes. And then you just see like my gamer tag, and it's just this Oblivion. And I'm just like this statement. They're like, get the fuck off that, bro. And I was like, no, like, nope. I was like hopping out of parties to like dial into the story more, into the factions. Yeah, like that was my defiant single player moment. I was like, this is way better in Call of Duty.
Bro, I it's funny because I got into that resistant bag as well. And I am the multiplayer guy. But that's what I realized, when a single player game can capture you, you don't want to leave that world. And again, that's why I said the Cognito account, that avatar, that's what the days we had, the avatars of the picture representation of who you are as a gamer was always the Skyrim. And I kept that for so long. I think it finally changed it. I think it was when Rainbow Six came out. I think I really got into Vegas a lot. And I changed it to one of the operators from there. I'm like, all right, I'll finally break it up. It's been years. It's been about 10 years. All right, I could do it now. But, you know, 5 years or whatever. But no, man, it meant a lot. And that was the game. I was one of the earlier games. I was very proud to 1,000 achievement.
Yeah.
Every DLC, every content drop, everything was done. And yeah, that I owe it to Oblivion. So Oblivion for me, I know Skyrim is considered the GOAT, and I get that. But Oblivion was my GOAT at that time. There was nothing touching that game. So again, if you've never played, it's free $99 in Game Pass. Fire it, just see what it's like. You got the new coming, but then you'll appreciate where it went for what we
Like,
most
just
likely
get out
going
of
to
the
see.
sewers and wander for like an hour.
Yeah,
Feel it out.
just feel it out.
Yeah. Good Game Pass pick of the week. Definitely. I wonder what next week's will be.
I wonder.
Yeah. All right. Well, Cog, time to wrap it up, man. I feel like the hashtag this week has to be like Kavach DD. You know, it's got to be a little callback to Oblivion. So that's KVATCH for those who don't know and haven't played Oblivion, hero of Kavach. Tag us on Twitter. I'm at G27status. Cog is at Lord Cognito. Use the hashtag KavachDD. Let us know your thoughts on the episode. Otherwise, you can throw it in the comments down below. Again, hashtag KavachDD. Cog, any thoughts as we wrap this one up?
I'm hyped, man. Like I said, I'm on I'm in this euphoric state, you know what I'm saying, because of Oblivion. And again, like I said, maybe it was the right call. I hope it does what they wanted to do. But I'm hyped to see it. Seeing it, bro, that cover changed everything, bro. Should have never showed me that damn cover. The feels have come roaring back.
Yeah. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate you being here for this episode of Defining Duke and Xbox Podcast. Next week, the What We're Playing section definitely sounds like it's going to be one worth listening to. So we hope to see you then to talk about Oblivion Remake and other things. But until then, hope you take excellent care of yourselves. We'll catch you next week with episode 225 of Defining Duke and Xbox Podcast. Until then, peace out.
Defining Duke, an Xbox podcast, is a product and trademark of Last Stand Media and Collins Last Stand LLC, and is recorded from the United States of America. The show is conceived by Matthew Mr. Matty Plays Schroeder and me, Colin Moriarty, and is written and produced by Matthew Schroeder. Matty's co-host is Barry Lord Cognito Eversley. Defining Duke's executive producer is Dustin Furman. All of Last Stand's theme music is by Ramon Narvaez. As you know, all of Last Stand Media's shows, including Defining Duke, are fan-funded on Patreon at patreon.com/laststandmedia. The following names are at the producer support level on Patreon, and we're thankful for your kindness and generosity.